Rams to NFL offensive supremacy. But despite all their successes, failure today will be a tough blow to take. On defense, both squads have taken the aggressive take-no-prisoners approach. 2 weeks ago, the Rams' head-to-head win sparked helmet-to-helmet contact. And now the Saints aim to avenge that loss while L.A. sees an opportunity to put another nail in the New Orleans coffin. It's showdown time in the NFC's Wild West. So circle the wagons and buckle up the chin strap. The talk stops now. High noon is here. Well, there's nothing like a big game to determine first place on the 11th weekend of the season, and that's what we have this afternoon. A sellout crowd at Anaheim Stadium as the New Orleans Saints take on the Los Angeles Rams. Both teams tied for the lead at 7-3, and the 49ers are, of course, a game behind in the NFC West. Good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. Despite the rare sellout here at Anaheim Stadium, you don't have that electricity you normally do before a big game. The stadium is only three-quarters filled right now, and we'll see how they react when the game gets started. My partner is Dan Faust. Of course, their previous meeting fresh in the minds of both teams. The Rams won 12-10 a couple of weeks ago. Anything different this time around?
Well, I think Jim Mora would like to see that type of game again because it was a low-scoring game. He feels he can't afford to get into a shootout with the L.A. Rams. He really has to rely on Bobby Hebert's ball control passing today.
As far as the Rams are concerned, I don't think they want to shoot out either. Charles White is starting in place of Greg Bell at running back. What does that all mean?
Well, it means for John Robinson, it's time to get back to being physical again. Charlie White led the league, obviously, last year in rushing. He feels that White will give his team the boost. But one thing it's very difficult to do is to defeat a divisional opponent in 2 weeks.
We have overcast skies and the temperature 66 degrees. The lights are on here at Anaheim Stadium as we get underway for the rematch between these two clubs. The New Orleans Saints have won the toss and they will receive. To bring you up to date on their last meeting, the Rams had the edge in rushing yards and in time of possession, and the Saints turned the ball over twice. One of the things the Saints dearly need to do, they feel, is to create turnovers of their own this time, and that's number one on the list of Jim Mora's things to do this afternoon. So Jim Mora's Saints, and he's been a winner, and John Robinson, who told us yesterday that he expects a similar game and thought that New Orleans was the more desperate of the teams, and I guess they are, because if they lose this one, Dan Fouts, they would lose any tiebreaker possibility.
And the tiebreaker is going to be very important this year with the way the NFC West has developed. And we can't count out the 49ers either. They may have the advantage coming down the stretch when we look at their schedules a little bit later on.
Mike Lansford will kick off for the Rams. And deep for the Saints is Mel Gray. He's on the right, Gene Atkins on the left. Saints had their 10-game road winning streak snapped a week ago in Washington. They're a very strong road club, however, 4-1 this year. Set to go, first place at stake in the NFC West. And we're underway, and it's going to be Gray at the goal line. Mel Gray is tackled at about the 16-yard line. Fred Strickland and Larry Kelm in on the stop. Bobby Hebert, the quarterback for the Saints, had his best game, according to Jim Mora, last week in a losing cause. Mora says he needs a big game this afternoon against the Rams. Looking at the base Ram defense of Doug Reed, Alvin Wright, and Sean Miller, the defensive line. Kevin Green, Carl Eckern, Mark Giroux, and Mike Wiltshire are the linebackers. In the secondary, Jerry Gray and Leroy Urban are the cornerbacks. Michael Stewart and Johnny Johnson, the safety. First down on the 17, and the Saints come out with two tight ends and one running back. Reuben Mays is the one back. Fake, Eric Martin on the wide receiver screen, and Martin is tackled at the 22 by Mike Wiltshire. Martin's having a big year for the Saints, leads the NFL in receiving. The rest of the offense, Mays, the single back. Jordan will also appear. Martin has Lonzel Hill with him at wide receiver. John Tice is the tight end. Up front, Jim Dombrowski, Joel Hilgenberg, Steve Court, Steve Trapillo, and Darren Gilbert. Gilbert coming off his first start at right tackle. And Brad Edelman has an ankle injury. Will see action at left guard. Second down 5 at the 22. In motion. Another play fake. Hebert in trouble. He can run for the first down, and he should get it. It'll be close as he curled up at the last moment and was stopped at about the 32 by Mark Giroux.
Good job by Hebert avoiding this sack here. One of the Rams came in there and took a swipe at him. Looks like it's number 93, Doug Reed. And the great thing that Hebert does here is he avoids that swipe and then stays on his feet and picks up enough yardage that'll bring up the measurement.
It looked like he had the first down. He might not have known it, Dan, because all of a sudden he stopped in his tracks despite Giroux's tackle. A little lean might have gotten them the first down for sure.
Well, that's the old quarterback half slide there, that you're half trying to go for it and half trying to protect yourself, and he came up a little bit short.
So Jim Mora, who is an even-keeled coach. The plane ride back after the Redskins lost last week was just like it would be after a victory. And his consistency is one of the reasons why the Saints are where they are. It'll be third down and 1 at the 26-yard line. Two tight ends, but now Buford Jordan joins Ruben Mays in the backfield. And the quarterback sneak by Hebert appears to be enough. All he needed was a half a yard. And it is a first down for the Saints as the sun begins to make its presence felt. Scores from around the league. Tampa Bay defeats Detroit. San Diego over Atlanta. Chicago had a big lead early, and Washington has come back somewhat, and the Eagles with a late score ahead of Pittsburgh. We'll keep you up to date on the scores of games underway, finishing, and game starting now. First down at the 29, 28 make it for the Saints. And the pitch is to Ruben Mays. Mays off the left tackle. A big run and a good run for Ruben Mays. He has another first down beyond the 40-yard line. Michael Stewart makes the stop, and a 13-yard pickup for Mays, who gained all of the rushing yards last week for the Saints.
Well, this is where Ruben Mays is most effective. When he gets to the outside, this is where he can make a lot of yardage. He's a classic sweep type of runner. Watch him follow his blocks, get through the hole, and then if Michael Stewart doesn't come up and make this tackle, we may have a touchdown for the Saints here.
Mays is playing in place of Dalton Hilliard, who has a stress fracture of the foot but should play. Craig Hayward is out with a twisted knee. He'll miss his blocking. First down, Saints on their 41-yard line. Jordan in motion. Hebert's first pass complete to Ruben Mays. He's got another New Orleans first down. And the extra impetus sends him inside the 40 of the Rams. Johnny Johnson on the stop. A gain of 20.
One guy the Rams have got to get a big game out of today is Kevin Green, number 91. Here he is coming on the blitz, and he has not had a sack in a long, long time, about 4 weeks now. And one of the reasons is you see with the big guy coming out to pick him up on the protection, he feels that with his weight at only being about 240 pounds, that these big 280-pound offensive tackles, they kind of bog him down with their big, massive bodies.
Green admits that he's missed some sacks. He's had some chances. He didn't that time, though. First down for the Saints on the Ram 39. Quick slant pass to Lonzel Hill, and Hill will have another New Orleans first down as he gets to the 21-yard line, and another gain of 13. Hill is hobbled himself. He only practiced Friday, has a fractured foot, a stress fracture, but is giving it a go anyway.
What they did with Lonzel Hill is they gave him an orthotic to wear in the bottom of his shoe. And what the orthotic has done is it's changed the weight of his body on that foot. He's got a stress fracture in one of those small bones there, but with the shifting of the weight, he feels he can play.
First down, Saints on the 26 of the Rams. Lights remain on. The sun is out bright. And Mays is caught from behind by Alvin Wright. So finally, the Rams do something to stop the Saints surge, and Alvin Wright knocks Mays for a loss. The Eagles defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-26. They beat the Rams last week and hang in there in the NFC Eastern Division.
One of the things about the Saints in the last couple of weeks is they have changed the personality of their offense from a running game, ball control, passing offense to a short passing ball control offense.
Loss of 2 on the play. First down and 12. Back to the 28. Hebert slips, but he recovers and he flips one up the middle to Mays. And picked up about 5 yards. It'll be third down and about 6 or 7 for the Saints. Eckern and Giroux make the stop, and of course the Saints playing on natural grass here at Anaheim Stadium.
Bobby Hebert is going to show us a little bit of his type of athletic ability. A little late pulling out from the center with the snap, and then he falls down and he completes this pass. You won't see this very often. Right on his seat there. Heads up play by Mays to stay with the quarterback even though he was down on the ground.
The big thing is he had the protection enough to recover. Saints have had the ball for nearly 5.5 minutes. Third down and 6. In the shotgun for the first time. Hebert has Lonzel Hill and a first down inside the Ram 10. Fred Strickland makes the tackle, a 15-yard gain. And this is great choreography by the Saints offense right here.
And again, good pass protection, Dick, as you mentioned earlier. Hebert is one of the quicker releasing quarterbacks. He holds the ball high, which gives him that quick release. And as soon as he sees one of his receivers get in the cracks of the zones, he's going to give it to him. Lonzel Hill's had a good year for him. He's leading the team in touchdown receptions.
It'll be a first and goal at the 7 for the Saints. Hebert is a perfect 5 for 5 on this drive. Going for 6. Chased by Wilshire. He completes the pass to John Tice, the tight end, and Tice gets to about the 6-yard line. It'll be second and goal. Kevin Green on the stop for the Rams. So it's been a ball control, as you pointed out. That's what the Saints are trying to do, and that's what they've done thus far. Hope to come away with some points.
Well, you give him time to throw. 6 for 6 is a great start, but the part of it is he's got the hot hand now. He was under a lot of pressure there. He was really looking to throw that ball away. That's when you know you're hot, when you got a receiver, when you're even looking to get rid of it.
Second and goal. The ball has spotted just beyond the 5. Here is Ruben Mays. Cuts inside and gets to about the 3. Alvin Wright on the tackle for the Rams will bring up a third and goal. Saints feel that they're much better prepared for the Rams' Eagle defense. That's their 5 linebacker, 2 defensive line defensive area, and the fact that they played well despite injuries to the offensive line and their backfield.
One of the guys they really have to watch today, keep him healthy, is Ruben Mays. Last week he made all the carries for the Saints, and this week he's going to be called upon. It looks like to carry it again. They're going with a lot of the 2 tight end offense and 1 single back in the backfield.
Been a long drive, and the Saints have a third and goal at the 2. Hebert will throw for it, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the Rams, and it's Mark Giroux who stuffs out the touchdown attempt.
Sometimes when you're rolling, you think you can complete them all, but watch this. There are just too many people in the middle of this field. Johnny Johnson, number 20, is right there. Here comes Giroux. I'm not sure Bobby Hebert knew what he was going to do with that ball. That ball was going to be intercepted from the minute he let it go.
The 12th Ram to intercept a pass this year. Mark Giroux and the Rams take over. Saints had the ball for 7 minutes and 54 seconds, 12 plays, and come away with nothing. Mark Giroux's interception gives it over to the Ram offense. They have it on the 21st and 10. Jim Everett is the quarterback, and Charles White back in as a starter in the backfield. Everett gets hit, and his first pass is incomplete. It was intended for Henry Ellert, who's having a big year. Van Jakes on the coverage. Frank Warren, Tony Elliott, and Jim Wilkes, the front three for the Saints. Their strength is the linebackers. Ricky Jackson, Sam Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling. And in the secondary, Van Jakes and Dave Waymer are starting at cornerback. Waymer on the right side, Jakes on the left cornerback spot. Antonio Gibson and Brett Maxey are the safeties. Second down and 10, and Robert Del Pino comes into the backfield. Good receiver for the Rams out of there, number 39. Goes in motion. Pitches to Charles White. They slowed him up. Did Vaughn Johnson, and James Gethards puts him down. Back to the 19. That'll make it 3rd and 11. White will have Buford McGee and Del Pino back there. At running back, Henry Ellard and Aaron Cox, the wide receivers. Damone Johnson, one of 2 outstanding tight ends. Up front, Irv Pankey, Tom Newberry, Doug Smith, Duval Love, and Jackie Slater. A fine offensive line.
3rd and 11.
3rd down and 11 for the Rams on the 19. They'll come out with 3 wide receivers. Everett, quick toss, and he's got Cox. Cox, one man to beat. And it's Gene Atkins who prevents the real big game. He got 24 anyway, and a first down for the Rams up to the 44-yard line.
This Ram offense is designed to, the pass offense is designed to beat zone coverages, and what you'll see a lot of today are the Rams hitting a lot of post patterns to their receivers in the zone areas. There you see Cox, he gets away in this fine tackle there to stop the big gain, but again, Everett gets the time to throw. One thing that the Saints have to do is get pressure on Jim Everett.
First down on the 44 for the Rams, scoreless with 5:35 remaining in the first quarter. Everett on first down, swings it out to Charles White. White gets to midfield. Sam Mills on the stop. So Charles White, in his first start since the opening game against the Green Bay Packers, was out 30 days on a suspension.
And he looks fresh to me, Dick. Yeah, this is a wonderful cut he makes here after he makes this grab. First of all, he has to reach behind himself, make a 360, catch the ball, and then the power cut there, and he leaves Van Jakes in his dust.
It'll be 2nd and 4. A lot of the Rams felt that Charles White would fire up the team being back in there. He was the league's leading rusher last season. And it's Charles White again, and runs into a brick wall and is stopped short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. Jim Wilkes, steady defensive right end for the Saints, makes the stop. There's a couple of more finals come your way on the CBS Sports Wire.
You talked about how Charles White will fire up this team. I talked with Tom Newberry here, and he said that the reason Charlie White is so emotional out there and what he does for the offensive line is they see that he never quits. He just plays and tries as hard as he can. He's in tremendous condition. He's the type of guy that will get stronger as the game goes along. You hear that a lot about running backs, but we really got one here today.
3rd and 2 at the Saint 48 for the Rams. Everett on 3rd down will throw it, and a catch made by Holohan. The question is, does he have enough for the first down? Van Jakes got a hand on it, tipped it in the air, and Pete Holohan, who may have the best hands we've seen all the year, caught it.
Well, Van Jakes, if he would have caught it, this would have been a touchdown for the Saints. He cuts in front of Holohan, gets one hand on the ball. And watch the concentration here as Holohan reaches back. And now watch as he tries to get this first down. Great effort.
It is 4th down, apparently, and they're short by less than 1 yard. Here it is again. Holohan reminds John Robinson of Fred Biletnikoff when Robinson was an assistant with the Raiders.
You know, one thing that John told us before the game is he wanted to be more physical. Well, here was a first chance of the game for him to be physical, go for it on 4th and 1, but he elects to play the ball control, the field position type of game. He's going to punt it away to the Saints.
Mel Gray goes back, and Dale Hatcher will be kicking. Of course, the conservative style of play paid off for John Robinson in their first meeting a couple of weeks ago, when the Rams exhibited tremendous ball control on the ground.
And that's what we'll see a lot from the Saints today also.
Rams come in tight now on 4th down and 1, and the Saints send 10 men on the line right now. Now they bring one back. Hatcher, good high kick. penalty marker is down as Gray makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. A 36-yard punt, but that's exactly what you wanted from Hatcher. Our referee is Tom Dooley. He'll explain the penalty marker. It'll be against the receiving team, the Saints in this case. Illegal use of the hands.
And the holding was against Tim Terrell, the fine special teams player for the Rams.
Holding, 29 on the receiving team. First down.
Terrell was one of the gunners outside, and he was being bumped around by two guys, and one of them just grabbed him and held him at the line of scrimmage.
We'll be back with the Saints hemmed in their own area in a moment. Back here at Anaheim Stadium and sellout. Normally it's the 49ers who sell out here, but the Saints have drawn the full house today. No score. They depend on the run a lot, but the last two games they have really stumbled. Being 33 yards against the Rams, their lowest total of the season, and then 50 yards against Washington last week. First down on the 5. Is to Mays. Mays gets back to the line of scrimmage where Alvin Wright met him head on.
Part of the reason they haven't rushed the ball very well, they have had injuries in their offensive line. Plus, they really miss old Ironhead Hayward and Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard's playing with a turf toe. We're not sure how much we'll see of him today. But he had a great game here last year against these Rams. Over 200 yards in total offense.
Second down and 10 at the 5-yard line. Hebert's completed 6 of 7. The one he missed was the interception that foiled their attempt. Once again, it's Ruben Mays. Mays trying to get around Johnny Johnson and is ridden out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. It'll be third down and long for the Saints. Scores of other games. Philadelphia edges Pittsburgh. Cincinnati upset by Kansas City. That's a tough loss for the Bengals in what has been the best division race in the AFC, the Central.
How do you figure Kansas City coming up with just their second win of the year against a team that a lot of people think is the best team in the AFC right now?
Some think Buffalo, others pick Cincinnati. 4 wide receivers for the Saints on 3rd and 6. They're on their own 9. Lost it to Eric Martin. Eric is hit, holds on, and has the first down for New Orleans at the 30-yard line. Mickey Sutton makes the tackle on Eric Martin, who's having a terrific season and coming off his best day of the year last week against Washington.
We call this pass the fade pass, and nobody in the league throws it better than Bobby Hebert. Just a nice soft touch right up over the top here. Nice concentration. Martin knows he's going to get hit here, but he makes the grab. That's why he's having a Pro Bowl year.
He caught 10 passes for over 100 yards and a touchdown last week. He makes that catch that time, a 20-yard pickup, first down at the 29. Saints get out of trouble. Now Hebert on first down as Rams hanging all over him and throws an interception into the hands of Johnny Johnson. Has thrown 2 bad interceptions so far in this first quarter, right into the hands of Ram defenders. That time Johnny Johnson picked it off.
This is why you play zone defense. Let's take a look at Johnny Johnson here. He's going to just play right in the middle of the field here, and Hebert will fake the play action pass to Ruben Mays. And now watch Mike Wilcher just bother Hebert enough to where he throws this ball. It gets away from him over Lonzel Hill's head and into the arms of Johnny Johnson. But that's why you play zone defense, to try to get some of those overthrows.
So the Rams bit one bullet. Now they have another opportunity. They're in Saint territory as they start here at the 45 of New Orleans. First down, Charles White going outside. And then White picks up a couple. Pat Swilling makes the stop. There's the defensive group on the sidelines for the Rams.
This is Pat Swilling, number 56. He's got to have a big day for the Saints. He is their Lawrence Taylor type of ball player. He's coming off that injury, Actually, he's been playing with that pulled abdominal muscle since the very first game of the year against San Francisco. In order for the Saints to be effective on defense, he's got to come up with a big game.
remaining in the first quarter. No score. Everett pumps short, goes deep, and overthrows everybody. Henry Ellard was his intended receiver, and the Saints had him double covered, including Dave Waymer.
Smart decision by Everett. Waymer was not fooled at all. He played that nice and soft. One thing about the Saints defense, they're going to force Everett to be patient. He's not going to get a lot of chances to throw the ball deep. And we see Tony Elliott's down on the field. This is a real big injury if he cannot play the rest of the day, because they do not have a lot of defensive linemen.
And he's been playing very well at nose tackle for the Saints. We'll take a break. Tony Elliott is on the sideline right now, and the medics are working on him. Frank Warren, James Gethers, Bruce Clark up front. Clark's had some knee problems. Third down and 6 on the 39 for the Rams. Everett avoids a sack. He's in trouble and just fires it up for grabs. And the penalty marker is down. Willie Anderson was the closest receiver, and Dave Waymer both were going for the ball. Let's see what the officials call on this one. Good pressure by James Gethers, however, for the Saints.
I believe this one's going to be against Willie Anderson. Waymer had position on the ball, and it looked like Anderson came right through his back. Very similar to a...
You're right.
Very similar to the way it usually works when the defensive back comes through the offensive receiver. Very bad decision, though, on Everett's part to try to throw this ball.
Number 83, offense. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
It's interesting that when we talk about these two successful quarterbacks playing today, Hebert and Everett both have been kind of shaky on some throws. That one by Everett, and of course the 2 interceptions by Hebert.
And the key on a lot of those, or on both of those plays, was the pass pressure on the quarterbacks. Something both teams felt they had to do today.
So it's fourth down. Dale Hatcher will kick for the second time this afternoon. Del Gray goes back as a single receiver for the Saints. Exactly 1 minute remaining in the first quarter here at Anaheim Stadium. Called for by Gray, this time at the 13-yard line. So the Saints will take over again. They had the best drive of the game, but they came away with nothing. 0-0 first quarter. Back here at Anaheim Stadium, that big guy with a Ram jacket is none other than Irvin Magic Johnson of the champion Lakers. And there's Mel Owens, who is out for the 4th straight game with an ankle injury. Magic on the sidelines at Raider games and the Ram game. This is a big one here today. No score with 53 seconds to go. Saints have the ball on their 13.
Magic's a politician, huh?
Plays no favorites. Bobby Hebert. And the whistle blows, and let's see if we had a delay.
It looked to me like Gary Jeter got off real quick. May have been offsides.
Ball start. 61 offense. First down.
It was the left guard of the Saints, Joel Hilgenberg.
And that brought Jeter across the ball.
Saints started from their 5-yard line the last time, and Jim Mora would like to see better field position, something the Rams have enjoyed so far in this game in one of their 2 possessions.
They really dodged the bullet, though. They got great field position after the interception, but couldn't do anything with it.
Hebert, you see, is 7 for 9. The 2 incompletions were interceptions. Ball thrown into the hands of the Rams. First and 15, back to the 8. Ruben Mays runs into his own man and breaks out of the pack, and Mays carries it out to the 20-yard line. The 2 safeties of the Rams, Stewart and Johnson, make the stop and a gain of 12. It'll be third down. Make it second down coming up.
Really nice run by Mays that time. You love to see that from a running back, to get you off your goal line, get your quarterback a little room to throw the ball, also give your punter a little bit of room if they have to punt. But Mays is coming out. We'll see Dalton Hilliard for the first time today, and this is really important for the Saints if he can play and be productive.
Hilliard is an especially adept receiver out of the backfield. Second down and 3 at the 20-yard line. Cooper Jordan goes wide to the right. Hebert goes the other way. He's got Hilliard out of the backfield, and Hilliard has the first down. Just shy of the 35-yard line. Leroy Irvin on the stop, and a gain of 15 to Hilliard. And there's the gun. That's the end of the first quarter. No score between the Saints and the Rams. Back here at Anaheim Stadium in a sellout crowd in the battle for first place in the NFC West between the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams. This is Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts. They were 12-10 the first time they played 2 weeks ago in the Superdome. Rams winning, and we have no score here and a big possession edge for the Saints, but they should have come up with something the first time they had the ball.
Well, the interception really killed them down on the goal line there. Hebert had completed 6 passes in a row, felt he could throw it through about 10 Rams there, but Mark Giroux made the pick.
Saints, by the way, are second in the NFL to the Chicago Bears in time of possession. They're throwing the ball well and they're throwing it quick. First down on their 35 as we start the second quarter. Green pass to Martin, and he trips up. No one was near him. He might have gotten another couple. Instead, he picks up 2 or 3, and Kevin Green was there. Eric Martin came into this game with 12 more receptions than he had all of last year. Big season for Martin, and we may see some of Brett Perriman today, the rookie from Miami.
Perriman had an excellent week of practice, according to Jim Mora. He had been a bit of a disappointment so far this year. He's got the speed. He's got the explosiveness that this Saint offense needs. Maybe he'll come through with some of it today.
And the question is whether they really need it. As long as they hunt and peck the way they have offensively, it's working. They have to get it over, though, for the score. They haven't done it. Second down and 7. Gets good pressure and overthrows his tight end, Hobie Brenner. Covering was Johnny Johnson, so they wanted to go to Brenner, who doesn't have a lot of speed, going deep.
One of the matchups we're going to be looking at today is Darren Gilbert, number 77, going against Kevin Green here. Green came into the game without a sack in about a month, and this is one of the reasons why. Gilbert just kind of leans on him, uses his bulk, and keeps him away from the quarterback.
Rams still lead the NFL with 42 quarterback sacks. It is third down and 7 on the 38-yard line. Hebert in the shotgun. Steps up and hits his man. It's caught into Ram territory by Brett Perriman. Jerry Gray makes the stop and a gain of 19, and now you know the dividends that young Brett Perriman, who's had an ankle injury, can give the Saints. First down.
2 great things about this play. Watch how Hebert steps up into the pocket. This is why they call it a pocket. It's like being in the eye of the storm right there, nice and calm in there. He throws a strike to Perriman, who goes up high to make it. It may have been a high strike, but still a strike. Great catch.
Brett Perriman, who is the second-round draft pick out of Miami, gives the Saints a first down on the Ram 43. 2.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter. No score. Ruben Mays has no room to run and is stopped for no gain. Rams awfully tough against the run, whether you go outside or inside, and there you're looking at that fine offensive line closer to you and Pete Holohan away from you, the tight end.
The Saints are doing an excellent job of keeping that offensive line off the field. They, as you mentioned, are second in the NFL in time of possession. They are really having it their way so far today.
They gained, as you saw, only 33 yards rushing in their meeting 2 weeks ago. They have over 140 right now. Second down and 10 at the 43. And Bobby Hebert will call a timeout. First timeout of the game called by the Saints. Hebert goes to the sidelines, and we'll take a break here at Anaheim Stadium. 0-0 the score. Saints have owned the ball against the Rams.
And the key interception is this one. Watch this zone defense for the Rams. Eckern's got Hobie Brenner, and now Giroux comes over with the pick. Johnny Johnson's there. There's Leroy Irvin. They all wanted it.
And it was Giroux who picked it off, and that foiled nearly 8 minutes of ball control by the Saints. Johnny Johnson picked off another one later on. Second down and 10 at the 43 of the Rams. Saints ball. Hilliard and Jordan, the running backs. Mays gets a breather. Hebert with time, flips it up the middle, completes it to Hilliard. And Hilliard appears to have another New Orleans first down. Carl Eckern and Kevin Green on the tackle. It'll be a first down to the 31, a gain of 12.
The injury that Hilliard has is turf toe, and it's a problem that happens with when you cut a lot on AstroTurf. Sometimes your joints don't give. on that stuff, and that's one of the problems. He is a better player on grass, though. He is a real power cutter. That's where he makes his yards. He's not going to run over anybody. He's going to make people miss by making hard cuts.
Ball control, time of possession edge to the Saints, and they've done it through the air with short passing passes. First down at the 31. Hebert goes again short, and it's incomplete. Tice was hit hard, and the Rams are claiming that it was a completion and that they have the ball. I don't believe that, and it's going to go as an incompleted pass. Is that the call?
I believe that they're marking it down. They're saying the ground caused the fumble and not the contact. So this is a completed pass to Tice, and then when he hits the ground, the ball comes out. Number 82 coming across the screen here. Hebert shouldn't have thrown this ball in the first place, but he gets tagged by Leroy Irvin, hits the ground, the ball comes out. That's a good call by the officials. Or is it? Now they're going to take a look at it in the replay booth.
Ralph Moorcroft is our replay official, and they're going to take another look at it.
After further review, the play will stand as called. Second down.
I'm not surprised at that, because even if the Rams had been right, there was certainly nothing conclusive if you look at the replay.
That's the key word, conclusive.
Jim Mora and John Robinson locked in a 0-0 game. 11 minutes plus remaining in the first half. 2nd and 8 for the Saints on the Ram 29. Pitch to Dalton Hilliard with Buford Jordan blocking. And he'll be thrust away, gaining a yard, and that's all. Sean Miller came in and forced the play.
Sometimes when there's a controversial call like that, it'll fire up a defensive football team. Very hard to run against the Rams to the outside. They are really outstanding in pursuit. They do a fine job of getting after people. This is Sean Miller down. He's one of the defensive linemen. Looks like he hurt his hand a little bit. Look at the blood there. He's getting it pumping a little bit. He should be back in there.
I want to correct, I inadvertently said that the Saints had gained over 100 yards rushing in the first quarter of this game, or into the second, and that wasn't the case. Right now they have 36 yards rushing, which is still better than what they achieved 2 weeks ago against the Rams when they gained only 33. So there they have the rushing edge. The Rams with only 5. That's not what John Robinson had envisioned today.
Now he wants to see Charlie White carry it about 30-35 times today, wear the Saints down, and win it in the fourth quarter. But he's got to get started now. That's only 5 yards after 1 quarter for Charlie White.
3rd and 9 for the Saints. Nonetheless, it's still no score. Hebert out of the backfield to Jordan, and Jordan inside the 20 will have another first down for the Saints. Fred Strickland on the tackle, a gain of 11. This is a masterful, crafty offensive effort today by the Saints.
Well, and this is a wonderful job of finding the open receiver by Bobby Hebert. The Rams are only bringing 3 down linemen here. Here's the job on Gary Jeter in the middle by Steve Court, but Hebert found the guy coming out of the backfield, let him make the grab, and then find the room to get that first down. Good job.
10 first downs for the Saints to only 1 for the Rams. And they're on the Ram 19. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Hobie Brenner was the intended receiver. And standing back there was Johnny Johnson. The ball bounced in front of him. The Saints have nearly doubled their pass output compared to what they've run.
Hebert's not real happy. He thought that Brenner should have put both hands up, try to make that grab, but I think Brenner was thinking back to the play Tice got his head ripped off on a completion earlier.
Not for me, he said. Not for me. 2nd down and 10 on the Ram 19. Pitches to Mays, gets a hold, turns the corner and is ridden out of bounds inside the 10, and that may be another first down for the Saints. It appears that it is. Kevin Green is shaken up. Johnny Johnson made the stop, and great blocking on the right side by the Saints, and another pickup of 11 and more gray hair on the head of John Robinson.
Well, if he loses Kevin Green, he loses a big part of his defense. Kevin, of course, has made a living this year on rushing the quarterback and making sacks out of that Eagle defense. This is a big injury if Green is not able to play anymore.
We'll be back with 9:19 to go in the half.
Let's take a look at the two tight ends blocking here on the Rams. This is Kevin Green, and he's going to get injured on this play. But outstanding blocking as Gilbert even gets out in front of this play. And again, it's Ruben Mays running wide. This is where he really excels, makes the first down, and now the Saints are in great field position.
Kevin Green is leaving for the dressing room. Sean Miller has a pinched nerve. They don't know if he'll be back. Brett Ferriers has replaced Green, number 51 linebacker, for the Rams. First and goal on the 8. Mays trying to get outside on Irvin. He won't do it. Goes the other way. Heber's in there trying to block. Ruben Mays was not to be deterred. He went all the way around to the other side of the field and got to about the 4-yard line. Picked up 4 yards in the process and probably ran for about 20.
Again, the two tight ends are right here, but watch Leroy Irvin make this play, force Ruben Mays to come all the way around the other side. There's Irvin. This is an unbelievable job of breaking tackles and then picking up a little bit of a picket line right here. There goes Hebert down. He's not going to block anybody. But Ruben Mays, he turned a disaster into a great play.
Wilshire also missed him before Stewart made the play. On second and goal, and Dalton Hilliard busted for the touchdown. Penalty marker is down. Hilliard goes in, and the Saints may have a lead here.
It's against the Rams, and they do.
Offsides declined, and the Saints with another great exhibition of ball control.
Well, Jim Mora told us yesterday that he was confident that they could run the ball against the Rams. They only got 33 yards down in New Orleans, but they felt that with Hilliard running on grass and with him getting a little bit healthier, that they would have some success. Mays is doing a good job, but that offensive line, and especially that two tight end set, has really opened up the running game for the Saints.
Mays is getting some oxygen on the sidelines. Hilliard gets the 4-yard touchdown run. It's 6-0. Morton Anderson to try the conversion, and it's perfect. And the Saints lead it 7-0. Great ball control for the Saints. They have had the ball for nearly 17 minutes of this game thus far.
This is the Saints version of the counter tray. This is Jim Dombrowski, and watch his block on Mark Giroux, number 59. Outstanding job, and there's no support on the outside. Easy touchdown for the Saints.
4th touchdown of the year for Dalton Hilliard. He leads the running backs, and the Saints jump ahead 7-0 in the second quarter. Morton Anderson kicking off. The Rams send Ron Brown and Robert Del Pino back. Brown returned to kick 73 yards against the Eagles last week. Kicking it over, and it's going to be Ron Brown. A yard in the end zone. Penalty marker down, and Brown is decked at about the 17-yard line by Joe Colbrand. Another penalty. We've had some people shaken up today, including Kevin Green and Sean Miller of the Rams and Tony Elliott of the Saints. Penalty will be against the Rams. Tom Dooley.
Holding, 32, receiving team, first down.
Tim Terrell, special teams performer. That's the only time he's used, and a good one for John Robinson. Guilty there. An amazing time of possession edge. Over 17 minutes for the Saints, and we still have 8:14 to go in the first half, man.
This is really what makes Jim Mora happy. This is the type of game he wants to see. You got to have this when you're playing on the road. You got to take the crowd out of the game. The Saints have done that so far.
Bruce Clark is now playing nose tackle, number 75 for the Saints, in the absence of Tony Elliott. On first down on the 6-yard line, Charles White picks up a couple. Vaughn Johnson making the stop. Tony Elliott suffered a pulled groin, and he is doubtful for his return, and so Bruce Clark, who's had an arthritic knee himself, is in there. And we have another injury. It looks to be James Gethers, Saints defensive linemen. So they're falling like flies in the first half here in Anaheim.
They came into the game with just 5 defensive linemen. They deactivated Ted Gregory. They said they were going to go with Warren, Geathers, Clark, Wilkes, and Elliott. Well, Elliott's down, and now we got Geathers down. We'll probably see Ricky Jackson or Pat Swilling take over that defensive end spot now.
One of the things Jim Mora told us that we might see Ricky Jackson as a defensive end. Well, next Saturday on CBS Sports, it's a college football doubleheader. At high noon, #1 ranked Notre Dame looks to continue toward its first national.
Newberry knows his men, too. He's been in the trenches.
Warren, Wilkes, and Clark are the 3 men up front with Bruce Clark and those tackles. 2nd down and 8. Everett at the goal line was trying to go to Ellard. Ellard had not turned around. Van Jakes was with him, however, all the way. And it looks like the Saints are really spending a lot of time to watch Henry Ellard today.
Well, Jim Everett doesn't hang in the pocket quite long enough for this pattern to develop. This is a long comeback on the outside by Ellard. Watch Everett. He's trying to time it so that he doesn't take this sack. Great pressure, though, there by Wilkes. That's what Moore is looking for on that defensive line.
Rams have been out of it offensively, and they haven't had a chance, really. They haven't had the ball. 3rd down and 8 for L.A. on their 8-yard line. Everett has some time, and the pass is caught by Damone Johnson, the tight end. He is short of a first down by 2 yards as he is tackled on the 9 by 5'9" Sam Mills, who prevented a first down.
And that's what pressure on the quarterback will do. It'll force him to throw it to a shorter receiver, not somebody down the field. He will not have the time. He doesn't feel he has the time to let it develop down the field. That time he might have had Hollahan on the post pattern, but he elected to go to Johnson short.
So Dale Hatcher will kick from the goal line, and Mel Gray is deep for the Saints, who are looking for their best field position of the afternoon. Good kick by Hatcher. Gray at the 39 gets into Ram territory and is tackled from behind. On a fine return, Robert Del Pino made the stop as Mel Gray returned that kick 19 yards and will give the Saints easily their best field position of the afternoon. Well, it looks like Jim Mora may have a kind of a hex on the Rams. There you see what's going on in their previous 5 games. They've rushed for only 83+ yards and have scored only 12 points plus. In fact, the Saints defense has allowed only 5 touchdowns in their last 6 games against the Rams.
And they shut them out. At least no touchdowns down in New Orleans. So they're on a roll right now. They've got control of the Rams offense.
They kept Lansford off the field, too. Mike Lansford hasn't had a chance to kick it. And a flip back from Mays to Hebert, and the pass is caught by Eric Martin, and another first down inside the 30-yard line. Bit of a razzle-dazzle play that didn't really work as well as the Saints would have wanted. Well, it did work, but it didn't materialize for a while.
The real reason is because the Rams were in an all-out blitz. They brought Mike Wilcher from the right side of our screen here. He'll get in on Hebert. Was almost faked out by the play to Mays. Watch Mays come back, give Hebert a little bit of time, and then this is a great throw, running to your left and throwing the ball back to the right.
Jerry Gray made the tackle on Martin. He's caught 4 passes today. Mike Wilcher very nearly got to Hebert. So it's a first down, New Orleans on the Ram 27. Ruben Mays looking for running room and nothing there. Maybe a yard. Mark Giroux on the stop. Sold out Anaheim Stadium in Southern California. It was overcast, but the skies have cleared on the beautiful afternoon, and at stake, first place in the NFC West. The Saints on a Dalton Hilliard 4-yard touchdown run lead the Rams 7-0. 5:45 remaining in the first half. It has been a tremendous exhibition of ball control by the Saints. Threatening again, 2nd and 10 on the LA 27. Couldn't hold on, incomplete. Double coverage that time. Leroy Irvin and Johnny Johnson.
Johnson came over from his safety position and helped out Irvin, but this ball was just a little bit late by Everett. Martin's having a great year. He couldn't come up with that one. But did you notice how he reached out with his hands? That's what you love to see in a receiver, is a guy that will reach out and cut down the distance the ball travels through the air, even though it's only 3 or 4 or 5 inches. Every inch counts.
You know, the Saints have been a team without really good wide receivers. That's been their problem in the last several years. Martin looks like he's going to be really one to watch. Lonzel Hill has been hampered, and Perriman could emerge.
And this is a fun offense for a wide receiver to play in. They're going to catch a lot of balls.
3rd down and 10 at the 27. Hebert's pass complete to Hill, and he's got the first down inside the 15, and the ball is taken away. And it's going to be a fumble recovery by Michael Stewart, and it'll be Rams ball. Hill had the ball, and Michael Stewart must have taken it out of his hands. In any event, the Saints have turned it over. I do not see anything whistled back on the reception, so it looks as if the Rams have the ball, and an injured LA player is Johnny Johnson.
Let's take a look at it. This ball was just laying on the ground after the pile-up, and Stewart came over and picked it up. See who gets the big hit. Jerry Gray is in there. Now we can't see the ball. Well, the ball's on the left side of the screen right now, and Stewart heads up, picked it up, and made some yards with it.
Anthony Newman, not Johnny Johnson, is the Rams shaken up. He'll have the ball, have the first down, and then this.
There's the scoop, and he's off to the races.
Fumble recovery. He left it on the ground after the catch, and Michael Stewart picked it up. So the Saints have turned it over for the 3rd time in this game. And if they hadn't, who knows what kind of lead they have right now.
And it's very uncharacteristic for them to turn the ball over. Hebert's thrown 2 interceptions. One where he tried to jam it in down on the goal line. The other one was an overthrow. And now they get the fumble after a big completion. It would have put the ball down inside the 20.
Anthony Newman, the rookie from Oregon, took a shot and walking off on his own power. So the Rams with an opportunity here. They stopped the surge by the Saints. And Jim Everett has his club first down on the 41-yard line with 5:16 to go in the first half. Pitches to Charles White. Lost his footing and loses yards. A couple. Sam Mills made the stop. Are you surprised that the Rams are having trouble with their footing here in their home field?
Well, we were down on the field before the game, and it's a beautiful looking field, but it's a bent grass field, and so by that it doesn't give you the traction that say a Bermuda grass or something that it's a little more tightly woven. Charles White again is the type of runner that will put a lot of weight on his foot to make a cut. That time the turf gave way.
Interesting that the Rams changed their preparation on Saturday. Instead of playing out in their facility at Fullerton, they practice here at Anaheim for the first time ever. 2nd down and 10. Charles White looking for a hole, and he gets a big one up the middle into Saints territory. 14-yard gain by Charles White. Van Jakes and Gene Atkins on the stop, and the Rams.
Well, they weren't having any success going wide, so they're going to go straight up the middle here on a blast play. This is something that everybody that's followed Charles White's career has seen a lot of. That's the old SC blast play, right up the middle, go right at the heart of the defense.
Only the 2nd first down of the game for the Rams. 4 minutes to go in the first half. First down on the 49-yard line of the Saints. Big pressure on Everett. Throws it away. Willie Anderson was the intended receiver, but a whole host of Saints were back there. But it was Brett Maxey on a safety blitz who forced Everett to get rid of it quicker than he would have liked.
Well, that's 2 balls now that Jim Everett has just thrown up for grabs. He's real lucky this one wasn't picked off. It was a play-action pass, but they brought the safety on the blitz. He had no place to go with the ball quickly, and he's lucky that that one wasn't picked off by the Saints.
2nd down, 10. With the connection with Doug Smith. And the Rams apparently have recovered. They'll lose a yard and bring up 3rd and 11.
We'll take a look at the exchange here. One thing that Everett wanted to do, they're coming with the safety blitz again. He wanted to get away from the center as quickly as possible and throw to a hot receiver.
There was a penalty as well, and it's against the Saints, Dan. Bruce Clark.
But kind of a change for the Saints' defensive philosophy. They felt that they had to be more aggressive coming into this game as coaches, not so much as the players. They couldn't really fault the effort of their ball players. They felt that they were playing hard, but the coaching staff had to change. And what we've seen now, the last two plays, Antonio Gibson came on the safety blitz on that one. Before that, it was Brett Maxey. So they're changing up quite a bit today.
They want to create something, as they told us. They want to create turnovers. 2nd down and 5 following the penalty. Everett up the middle to Buford Jordan. 1st down, Rams to the Saint 35. Sam Mills on the stop. Buford McGee, I should say. Buford McGee. There are 2 Bufords in the game. Jordan for the Saints and McGee for the Rams.
That might be an NFL record, having 2 Bufords in the same game.
Or it may tie an NFL record. It doesn't establish one outright. 3 minutes to go. Only the 3rd first down of the game for the Rams. Pitch to Charles White. White picks up 3. Frank Warren making the stop. Jackie Slater with a crunching block at right tackle. Craig Bell has a bruised shoulder, in case you're wondering. Suffered a back spasm during the week. Had been the leading rusher, leading touchdown maker in the league for that matter. And John Robinson said that Bell would see action. So far he has not. This is the deepest penetration for the Rams. 2nd and 7. They're on the Saint 33. 7-0 New Orleans. White. Charles White. Out of bounds at the 14. Troy Cook.
If you're going to play zone defense, you better get some pressure on the quarterback, or he's going to have all day to find somebody. Here's Charles White, and he's just going to find his way through here and then cut over here as Everett gets in trouble. Little play action pass here. In fact, Charles White is on the ground. Now he gets up, no pressure at all. Everett backpedals and gets the ball to White. Big gain. Now they're threatening.
They got 18 yards out of it. Interesting that on the last 2 plays they have thrown the backs out of the backfield to some success. 1st down on the 14-yard line. Charles White gets to the 10. And we're close to the 2-minute warning. Frank Warren and Brett Maxey combined to make the stop, and this is our 2-minute warning. 7-0 Saints, but the Rams are threatening here, and we'll be back to Anaheim Stadium in a moment. We're in the midst of our 2-minute warning, and Dan Fouts, curious, you've been in this situation when you've had to play another club, but in 2 weeks apart is a short time for that.
Yeah, and you really don't know who's got the advantage. I think psychologically the team that lost the first game is going to come out here and really play well. I think the Rams are a little bit flat so far today, and the Saints seem fired up.
So home field doesn't mean anything because the Rams won there and the Saints are leading here. As you say, the home team's flat. 2nd and 6 on the 10. Everett fires wide open, but thrown out of the end zone, and Ellard was the intended receiver. He had the right guy. He was clear.
Just a little bit late with it. Ellard did break into the clear in the corner of the end zone. That's a difficult pass to time out. And I think that one thing I'm seeing with Everett right now is that he's not real comfortable back there in the pocket. The Saints have hurried him a few times on some balls, and he's been off the target on some other ones.
You wonder whether last week's game had any effect. He threw 4 interceptions, and it was a rocky performance against the Eagles.
And it was a very physical performance on the quarterback. The Eagles knocked him around quite a bit.
3rd down and 6.
Timeout, New Orleans.
And the Saints call a timeout. Their second timeout, and I wonder whether they were forced to do it because of their late defensive changes, players running off the field. You can see Jim Mora not pleased with the fact that he had to call a timeout there.
No, you never want to have your defense call a timeout inside the 2-minute warning. But in that case, it was a good timeout because the Rams were at the line of scrimmage. They were about to snap the ball, and it appeared that the Saints were going to get caught with either 12 men on the field or with 10 men on the field.
Well, next Sunday, CBS Sports presents regional NFL action, beginning with the NFL Today. Most of you will see Chicago take on Tampa Bay. Others will see Phoenix at Houston or Detroit against Green Bay. Then in our late game, it's the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants in an important NFC East matchup. Others will see Atlanta against the LA Raiders. That's NFL action regional-wise next Sunday on CBS Sports. Rams trying to get back in this one, trailing 7-0 with 1:56 to go. Following the Saints timeout, they have a 3rd down and 6 on the Saints 10. And the pitch up the middle and diving forward is Charles White. That was an unusual looking play, and White is stopped at the 6-yard line. They make it Del Pino. Check it, Robert Del Pino.
This is a shuffle pass is what it is. Everett's going to come out here. Del Pino will come from this side, and he'll pitch it underhand to him. It's a forward pass. Nice grab by Del Pino, number 39 here. Didn't look like much of a play there. Actually picked it up off the ground. That should have been an incomplete pass.
If it's a shuffle pass and he didn't hold on, that's what it is. So Mike Lansford is in to try a 23-yard field goal. Is holding, and the kick is good. So the Rams come out of it with something. The big play was an 18-yard pass to Charles White. 7-3 the score, but 1:09 to go. The Rams can't really feel they're still playing a good game yet.
Del Pino, and there's somebody gets a hand in the play right there in the middle. Now whether this ball hits the ground or not, I don't think we're going to be able to tell. Great job, though, of staying with it by Del Pino. He had a huge hole. If he would have caught the ball, that's what you call a walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
The only thing I can think of is that he bobbled it and didn't drop it. Here's Lansford's kickoff. Mel Gray, and it goes to the short man, Dave Waymer. Waymer gets to the 29 and a fumble. And the Saints recover. So Waymer, who was not the deep man back for the Saints, made a nice return, then coughed it up, but the Saints keep possession. It's like Sam Mills on the recovery, Dan.
Yeah, and James Washington's in on this hit, and Jerry Gray. Washington knocks it out. The ball is on the ground before Waymer is. See who's heads up here. This looks like Alvin Toll's in there. Sam Mills also.
It's Mills who makes the play, but both of them were there. Saints will start from the 32-yard line.
And that's a huge recovery. If the Rams get this ball back, they've got momentum on their side, plus great field position.
Buford Jordan is the single back, 4 wideouts for the Saints. First down with 1:01 remaining. Robert Clark, number 89, is one of the 4 wide receivers, and in the handoff up the middle to Buford Jordan. Penalty marker down, and Jordan rambles his way into Ram territory and is tackled at the 43. Gain of 25, but the flag is against the Saints. It'll be holding.
Yeah, you almost knew it was. It seems like every time you get a big play in a situation like this on a running play right up the middle, that somebody's called for holding.
Kevin Green, by the way, who had x-rays taken.
65 offense. First down.
Green had x-rays taken on an injured ankle. They were negative, and he's back in there. Steve Trapillo, the guilty man here.
This is Trapillo, and he's going to come on the trap block here, and then he gets a handout and gets called for the... Actually, he's just turning Meisner there. Boy, I tell you what, if that's holding, I can't believe it. That's just control. He's not holding him. Of course, I'm an offensive player. I'm sure every defensive player in the country says it was.
Steve will agree with you. First and 20. Back to the 22-yard line. With 53 seconds remaining in the half. Hebert with a quick pass. It's caught by Lonzel Hill. And Hill carries it out to the 34-yard line. Michael Stewart on the stop. Saints, with their hurry-up offense, they have 1 timeout, remember, left. They used one on the defensive end. Hebert's pass is incomplete. Eric Martin defended nicely by Mickey Sutton.
Hebert is so fun to watch the way he gets rid of that ball. He's got one of the quicker releases in the NFL, and he holds the ball high. And it's a very short motion that he has. It's almost like he's throwing darts out there.
And he's got good protection. That's a key for him, although he does get rid of it in a hurry. He's been sacked only 3 times in the last 2 games. And he has been unscathed against the team that has gotten the more quarterbacks than any other in the league.
And that's good pass protection from an offensive line that has been beset with injuries.
Just about every position. 3rd down and 8. Saints on their 34. Hebert being chased by Jeter. Completes the pass to Clark. Clark may have the first down, and he does. Robert Clark. Stewart and Hicks were covering on the play, and a smart play by the Saints. It'll be a first down with 26 seconds remaining.
It was a smart play, Dick, and it's really very characteristic of the New Orleans Saints football team under Jim Mora. They're not going to be a team that goes out and beats themselves. Although Hebert's thrown a couple of bad interceptions, you see that he's settled down now and he's moving the team well.
Morton Anderson waiting in the wings if the Saints can get close enough for one of the long field goals that he's known for. First down, Saints on their 44. Clock also a factor, 26 seconds. Hebert surveys the field and throws it away. 2 Rams were downfield. No one really for the Saints. 18 seconds remain now, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Hebert wanted that throw back. He had Eric Martin wide open, but throwing on the run to the left side is very difficult. If he would have completed that pass, it would have put Morton Anderson in position, field goal position for a 3-pointer. We saw Anderson before the game. He hit a couple from 52 yards, so they need about 20 to get him in that range.
Anderson missed the 49-yarder against the Redskins. The season's long is 51 yards, and the season would be 22 yards to put Anderson in that kind of position now. Hebert hits his man Lonzel Hill, and Hill is down to the 35-yard line. A 21-yard gain, 8 seconds to go, and the Saints quickly call their last timeout. So Morton Anderson will get his chance.
This is Lonzel Hill in the slot now. Hebert has about 4 seconds to get this ball off, and now watch Hill just come down the middle and sit in the middle of the zone, just waiting for that ball. The linebackers are coming from the left there, the defensive backs from the right. That's the biggest hole on the football field anytime a team plays zone defense and they don't get any pass rush on the quarterback.
So right now we're looking as Hebert talks with Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Saints. Hebert goes back on the field. 8 seconds to go. They're on the 35-yard line. Morton Anderson is still on the sideline.
I don't think they feel that he can hit this field goal from this far. It would be about, 58, 52 yards, and that's right at the limit that he was kicking at before the game.
And keep in mind that he's a better kicker indoors at the Superdome and the Dome Stadium than he may be on this turf. So that goes into the consideration bank, too. 8 seconds to go. Hebert's quick toss. Clark, incomplete. Defense there by Clifford Hicks. Now there are 4 seconds remaining, and now they're going to give Morton Anderson the chance. So they knew that Hebert would have to get rid of the ball in a hurry on a sideline pattern to get out of bounds to give Anderson a chance for the field goal.
And that's really what he does best, is throw the quick pass, smart pass to the outside. If it's caught, the man will be pushed out of bounds and stop the clock, and they'll give Anderson a shot now from 52 yards.
This would be his season's long kick. Brian Hansen, the punter, will hold. 4 seconds remain. This should be the last play of the first half. Here's Morton Anderson. It appears to be long enough, and the kick is good by Morton Anderson. 52 yards, his season's high on the natural grass of Anaheim Stadium. But let's wait. We have a penalty marker down. And it may be against New Orleans. And it is. Boy, that's got to really hurt.
It's inexcusable. How can anybody be offsides or in illegal motion on a field goal try?
Holding, number 57 offense. The penalty is declined. The half is over.
Ricky Jackson, number 57.
Well, this is not that inexcusable. There's Ricky Jackson. Let's see what problem he has here with the protection. He's got to block two men almost. He bumps the first one on the inside, reaches out with his left hand, and he pulls down Johnny Johnson. That's a great call and a tough play for the Saints.
It nullifies a 52-yard field goal, and that is the end of the first half with the New Orleans Saints leading the Los Angeles Rams 7-3. Dismal. 7-3 the Saints lead as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. And looking at the halftime statistics, the Saints have run better. Big total offense yardage, and if despite the 3 turnovers, Dan, they've doubled the time of possession of the Rams.
It seems like this game is just a continuation of their game 2 weeks ago when it was 12-10 in favor of the Rams. Rams still haven't been able to score a touchdown against the Saints. Mike Lansford, right foot is all the points they can get.
That's all they got, but it was enough to beat the Saints 2 weeks ago. Morton Anderson, got to be disappointed after that 52-yard field goal was nullified, has Ron Brown on the right and Robert Del Pino on the left. 7-3 the score. The second half is underway. A booming kick by Anderson and into the end zone, but it's going to be run out by Brown. And Ron Brown doesn't get a chance to get underway and is stopped short of the 20-yard line by Joe Colbrand.
You know, Brown was really challenged by Morton Anderson earlier in the week when Anderson said that, well, all I'll see of Ron Brown doing is taking one knee in the end zone. You see that Brown has been close to taking that one knee and downing the ball for the touchback, but he wants to prove something to Morton Anderson.
He had a great 73-yard kickoff return against the Eagles last week, and he's always dangerous. So the Rams start out just shy of the 20. Jim Everett, those are his numbers in the first half. Charles White and Robert Del Pino, the setback. Going back deep against pressure. Everett finally lets go, and he throws it away, and a penalty marker is down. Aaron Cox was the intended receiver. Dave Waymer was covering, but there's a flag. Good pressure by Pat Swilling.
Now, if this is pass interference, I don't believe it's the proper call because the ball was obviously thrown away.
It's offensive pass interference.
But if the ball is not catchable for either player, how can it be interference? That's my objection to that call.
Well, maybe the boys upstairs will have a say in it.
Well, they're not going to review this one because it's a penalty
Offensive
on pass interference.
Number 84, first down.
Aaron Cox, he was the closest to the ball, but I guess offensive interference can be called for a ball that even if it's not catchable, but not defensive.
Obviously, that's the case. The real problem in that situation there was that the Rams wanted to throw a screen pass. The Saints sniffed it out and forced Everett to go to an alternate receiver. And just kind of the sign of the times for the Rams today, they're not doing anything right.
You saw the Rams' possessions in the first half. Second down and 20, back to the 10. Charles White's going to lose a couple. He gets back perhaps to the 10-yard line, and Frank Warren really snuffed out the run in a hurry. Warren hasn't collected any quarterback sacks this year, and that's what he's been known for.
Yeah, but when you talk to the coaching staff, they say that he has had a lot of hurries. In fact, they have a statistic that he's hurried the quarterback 16 times. I got to tell you, Dick, when I was a quarterback playing, I hurried my passes every time. I don't understand that stat.
I hurried to get to the press box in time for the start of the game. I know what that's all about. So it's second down and 20. Everett. He's got Holohan, and Holohan, let's see if he controlled it in time for the completion. The officials say he did. Just missed a first down by less than a yard. Van Jakes on the stop.
You see Pete shaking his head a little bit. He got his bell rung after this catch. Take a look at it in the far right of the screen here. Here's Holohan. He's running a simple post pattern. And Everett throws the ball on the money. This is his best pass of the day so far. But watch the contact at the end of the play. Helmet to helmet. And there the ball comes out, but Everett was down. Holohan was down. And the Rams are close to a first down here.
And a close call. They checked it on the replay, and they said Holohan indeed had possession. It was close, though. Third down and 1. Two tight ends in there for the Rams. A penalty marker is down. And it may be against the Rams.
Delay of game.
A delay of game, 5-yard penalty. Bad time for it.
Again, we've seen some uncharacteristic things happening today. The Saints having a few turnovers, and the Rams now not being able to get off a play on 3rd and 1. Crucial mistake.
Penalty story, and the game has gotten so chilly for the Rams that John Robinson has put on the blue sweater. First place is at stake in the NFC West with the 49ers a game behind. 3rd down and 6 now at the 24. 4 wide receivers in there for the Rams. Everett under great pressure tried to get it to Brown, and Brett Maxey came in to help Reggie Sutton on the play, and it's 4th down, but the Saints are getting terrific pressure on Everett this afternoon.
Big pressure that time by Ricky Jackson and Vaughn Johnson. The pass, if it had been complete to Ron Brown, might have given him a little bit of running room. That's what the Rams want to do, is give him a chance to use his speed to make the big play.
Dale Hatcher in the kick, and you saw Mel Gray go back. He returned a punt 19 yards in the first half. Good kick by Hatcher. Here's Gray. Gets around the corner, and Gray is finally brought down just shy of midfield by Mike Wilshire. A 17-yard kick return by Mel Gray. So the Saints will come out with outstanding field position when we come back to Anaheim Stadium after this.
Here's the key block. This is Joe Colbrand, and this is Larry Kelm. Watch how Colbrand will come down the field and avoid the clip as Gray comes outside. This is what you call the butt block right there. He's just shielding them with his backside. Outstanding play, really heads up on Colbrand's part.
And the run by Mel Gray. Well, the Saints have really improved their starting position. Their first 3 plays averaged out to their own 12. Last 3 possessions started out on their own 46. Big difference. 1st and 10, that's the 49. Reuben Mays fights his way, and a penalty flag is thrown to the 45 of the Rams, but a penalty. Mark Giroux and Michael Stewart both made the stop on Mays. Here's Tom Dooley, and a face mask call against the Rams. See how severe it was.
Face mask, 55 defense, 1st down.
Carl Eckern, it'll be a 1st down as they mark off the ball to the 40, 5 yards.
Really a sign of frustration on Eckern's part. Here's Eckern, number 55 here. Watch him come in. First of all, he's got to fight off the block by Steve Trapillo, get in on the tackle. And the only thing he can grab to stop Mays is the face mask.
There's Eckern. 1st down at the 40 for the Saints. Territory, and Reuben Mays gets inside the 35-yard line. Making the tackle, Giroux, and the nose tackle, Alvin Wright. The injured Rams are all back in there. Kevin Green and Sean Miller, who were shaken up in the first half, are in there, but not Tony Elliott, the nose tackle for the Saints. He's been out of there. And as far as Mays is concerned, we told you that he was the only man to gain any yards on the ground last week for the Saints. He's picked up 57 so far today. 2nd down and 5 on the Ram 34. There with a quick pass and nearly intercepted by Eckert. Pass was intended for Lonzel Hill. Was it deflected before it got to Eckert?
Yeah, it really was. One of the big defensive linemen. Let's see who he is. Gets his right hand up here. That's Doug Reed. And this ball is almost intercepted by Eckert.
Not much you can do, Dan, against Hebert with his short drop and his quick toss, but if you get your hand on there.
That's one of the things the Rams do as well as any team in the league. In their defensive line, if they get stopped in the line of scrimmage, they'll look at the quarterback, jump up, and try to knock the ball down.
4 wide receivers, including Martin Addison, number 88, who was just brought up from injured reserve for this game. 3rd down and 6. Hebert overthrows Perriman. Irvin was defending on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Good job by the Ram defense, again dodging a bullet here. The Saints got the great punt return, gave him great field position, and here comes Morton Anderson again. He hit one from 52 before. See how far this one's going to be from.
The field goal, of course, was nullified because of the penalty. the hold against Ricky Jackson.
It wasn't nullified in his mind, though. He's got the confidence that he can hit it.
All right, let's see if he can do it again. Another 52-yard attempt with Brian Hansen holding. Kicking to the other end of Anaheim Stadium. And this kick is long enough, and the kick just hits the bar and moves forward. It looked like it was just going to get over that crossbar, but it couldn't. And Anderson gave it all he could. As Mike Lansford told us yesterday, a power kicker, and his power came awfully close.
Well, he almost had too many spins on the ball. The ball was really hit well, but he got under it just a little bit too much. That's the difference between kicking on natural surface grass like this and on kicking off of AstroTurf. You just don't know how far down to go after that ball. When on AstroTurf, it's sitting up nice and firm, but on this grass, sometimes you go too deep.
And there's Mike Lansford. They have a friendly rivalry going. By the way, that was Anderson's first miss against the Rams in 5 years. LA ball, first down on the 34. Everett under pressure, and the pass is intercepted by Vaughn Johnson. Johnson to the 50, 25, 20. Look at Vaughn Johnson run as he gets it inside the 10-yard line. The Saints have brought supporters of their own today, and they're excited.
This is the first turnover for the Saints against the Rams this year, and it's a big one. Puts the Saints down inside the 10-yard line. Tremendous return, though, for Vaughn Johnson. Looked like a halfback.
A 34-yard return by Vaughn Johnson.
Here he is, number 53, and he's going to drop back into his zone coverage here. Great pressure up front. Look at Maxey coming on the safety blitz, number 39. Everett rolls out, and again, he throws late across the middle. Johnson's there. He breaks one tackle. Watch this move on Newberry. Now this one on Everett, and he takes it down inside the 10. You know, if they run out of running backs, I wouldn't mind putting that guy back there. He looked pretty good.
Boy, he was hard to bring down. Brett Maxey had put a lot of pressure on Ellard. John Robinson and Jim Everett, that was the first interception this year for Vaughn Johnson. And it's first and goal at the 7 for the Saints. 11:04 to go in the third. Mays with Buford Jordan blocking inside the 5 and down to the 3. Doug Reed.
Rams really, or the Saints rather, really like that formation where they've got Tice on the line of scrimmage and Brenner as the wingback, or vice versa, to that right side. They got a lot of power there. They feel that they're bigger than the Rams on the corner there, and that's where they're going to make yards. They got a touchdown to Hilliard earlier in the game. Mays has had a couple of nice runs on that play.
Fritz Shermer thought that Hebert may have trouble recognizing the Rams' secondary cover.
Well, the biggest thing that he's done so far is he's bounced back from those interceptions early.
Second and goal on the 3. Double tight end. Brenner and Tice. Pitches to Mays outside. Ruben Mays is in for the score. And the New Orleans Saints taking advantage of Vaughn Johnson's interception. Scored on Ruben Mays. Touchdown run.
Same type of formation. Here are the two tight ends, and the tackle Gilbert will come out and kick out the corner. Great job by Mays staying with his blocker, setting him up, and then having enough speed to get to the corner for the touchdown, and then into the trombone section.
Where he's going to be playing some woodwind. Second touchdown rushing for Ruben Mays. The Saints leading at 13-3, and Morton Anderson the kick is good, and the Saints with Ruben Mays leading the way this afternoon, and a depleted running back core have opened up a 14-3 lead over to the Rams in the battle for the lead in the West. And the Saints have the lead, and a little new wrinkle, I guess, for the Saints defensive group.
They're really causing a lot of confusion in the quarterback of the Saints, Jim Everett. They told us they needed to be more aggressive and create pressure on Jim Everett. The way they've done it is with the safety blitz. They've rushed him into an interception that time. 2 other times there could have been interceptions.
Morton Anderson kicking off into the end zone. Ron Brown will run it out. He was 5 yards back in. Brown, instead of taking it at the 20, tried to run it and is out and tackled at the 13-yard line. Next Saturday, the college football season continues. Penn State and Notre Dame. Noon Eastern time is game 1 of our doubleheader. And the second half of our doubleheader, the winner goes to the Orange Bowl, Nebraska against Oklahoma.
Nebraska's 10-1 and beat Colorado yesterday 7-0. They're led by their fine quarterback from San Diego, Steve Taylor.
Sooners coach Barry Switzer 12-4 lifetime against the Cornhuskers.
Didn't know I knew this. Taylor.
I knew you knew that.
Lincoln High School.
First down on the 14 for the Rams. Charles White. At what point do you think John Robinson decides we've got to go through the air and forget about my wish to get back to the hard ground game?
Well, he still is confident that if he gets enough rushes to Charles White, that they can wear down the Saints. The Saints are playing a little bit banged up in their defensive line. Their linebackers, though, are really controlling the line of scrimmage. It wouldn't surprise me if too much longer that we see Everett start to air it out a little bit.
Bruce Clark remains the nose tackle. Tony Elliott was injured. Second down and 7 on the 17 of the Rams. Everett out to Charles White. Van Jakes slows him up. And then Vaughn Johnson puts the seal on it. Sold out Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California. Battle for the lead in the West. The New Orleans Saints, who lost 2 weeks ago at home to the Rams by 2 points, lead the Rams 14-3 with just under 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is Dick Stockton along with Dan Fouts. And the Saints with a tremendous first half exhibition of ball control, mostly with short passes. Now capitalizing on an interception to score a touchdown here in the third. Jim Everett. Complete to Holohan. It's enough for the first down for the Rams at the 21. Brett Maxey on the stop.
Good play by Everett, hanging in the pocket that time, waiting for Holohan to come underneath. It was a semi-pick play between Damone Johnson and Pete Holohan. Play that you'll see a lot on third and short because most of the time defenses will be in man-to-man coverage, and it's hard to stay with them.
Third of Holohan's receptions have come on third downs, and they have resulted in first down for the Rams. So he's a good man to go to. First down on the 26. Everett right in the hands of Buford McGee, and he's hit immediately at the 29, a gain of only 3. Sam Mills wouldn't let McGee get out of way. Good pressure by Vaughn Johnson. So the Rams, who got off to a great start, that's what they did in their first 6 games. A lot of sacks, turnover ratio in their favor, won 5 out of 6 and ran the ball well. But in the last 4, no such luck and no such performance.
And a lot of trouble today. So the Rams are trying to get some type of rhythm going now. They're trying it with some short passes to their backs and tight ends.
Second down and 7 on the 29 with 7:19 to go in the third quarter. Troy Cook along with Frank Warren penetrated back nicely in the backfield of the Rams and prevented Charles White from getting anything going.
They're really having trouble getting any rhythm going, whether it's on the ground or through the air. The problem that they're having is that for the offensive line to be able to run block and then set back and pass block, they're really not getting into any comfortable situation. The line is struggling so far trying to open up any type of running for Charles White.
And he comes out of the game replaced by Greg Bell, who's been banged up. Bell's having a terrific year with 766 yards and 10 touchdowns rushing. Everett's sidearm toss is caught for the first down. No. It was incomplete. The ball hit the ground. Henry Ellard could not hold on. He was there, and it would have been a first down for the Rams. Instead, it'll bring up fourth down.
Well, this ball will come in a little bit low and hit the ground. Good try by Ellard to make it look like a catch, but there's momentum and then there's negative momentum, and the Rams are experiencing the negative side of it. They're having trouble with every phase of their offense right now.
And Henry Ellard has yet to catch a pass this afternoon. Dale Hatcher to kick. Bill Gray goes deep for the Saints. And the Saints wanted a piece of it. Waymer almost did. Gray at the 31. Boy, he's been a nemesis for the Rams today. He's had 2 punt returns for 36 yards. That time he only brought it back 7. Saints ball when we come back.
One of the Saints is also evident in their special teams. This is Van Jakes here, and this is Dave Waymer. Watch as they rush the punter, dive all out for the block, but avoid roughing the kicker.
Saints ball on their 37, first down with 6:19 to go in the third quarter. They get 3 yards. Carl Eckern on the stop. On the offensive line, which has been banged up all year for New Orleans, Brad Edelman, who did not play against the Redskins because of an ankle injury, is back in there now at left guard. Joel Hilgenberg had started.
It appears there's a small war going on up at Candlestick Park with the Raiders and the 49ers. Raiders leading that 6-3 in the third. They don't like each other too much. They used to be neighbors.
Huge game for both teams. Raiders think they can sneak in and win the West in the AFC, and of course the 49ers are locked in a big dog fight with these two. 2nd and 7 at the 40. Penalty marker down, and the handoff is to Mays, and Mays carries it out to the 44. Alvin Wright was there. Big surprise today, Kansas City's victory on Nick Lowry's field goal with 2 seconds left. Offsides against the Rams. New England over the Jets. Doug Flutie spinning the magic as he did for Boston College, doing it for the Patriots.
Offsides, defense, 77, 2nd down.
Well, Igwe Bike had to hit a long one, didn't he? 52 yards for the winner.
It's 2 wins. We saw him beat Green Bay earlier in the season.
Beat him a couple of times, didn't he?
Yep. John Robinson with some words for the offense.
And he's telling them, hey, listen, we got to get something going. It's on your shoulders now. You're the team offensive group out there that's got to go down and get some points. We can't keep this defense on the field.
2nd down and 2 for the Saints. They're on their 45. Ruben Mays is going to lose yardage. Carl Eckern will bring up 3rd down and about 4. Shaken up on the play is Darren Gilbert, I believe, the right tackle. Darren Gilbert is the 3rd right tackle to play for the Saints this year. Stan Brock, the regular, injured his knee. He's out for the season. Then Bill Kontz played right tackle, and he went on IR with an abdominal muscle pull. And now Darren Gilbert, the 3rd right tackle, and now they may have to go to number 4. We'll be back. That's Darren Gilbert on the Saints sideline. Chuck Comiskey will replace him. Number 66, so the offensive line is Dombrowski and Comiskey at the tackles, Edelman and Capillo at the guards, and Fort the center. 3rd down and 2 at the 45 for the Saints. 4:40 to go in the third quarter. Ruben Mays on the pitch. Can't turn the corner effectively enough. Michael Stewart knocks him out of bounds, and the Saints will have to kick.
Rams did an outstanding job of adjusting their defensive alignment to that set. What they did is they took their whole line and shifted to the bottom of the screen here where you have the 2 tight ends. They get great pursuit angles here, and there's just no place for Ruben Mays.
That'll bring up 4th down, and Brian Hansen will be kicking, and Clifford Hicks goes back for the Rams. Hicks is assuming punt return duties from Henry Ellard. The Rams want him to concentrate solely on his receiving job. He hasn't caught one today, and they haven't gone to him that way. Hicks has it at the 16. Penalty marker down, and Hicks is dropped inside the 20. Vaughn Johnson and Toy Cook both there, and a penalty flag down. The ineligible receiver downfield against the Saints.
There's a decision the Rams have to make here. That was only a 34-yard punt. Hansen's first of the day. Robinson wants to see how he'll do on his second one.
Well, if you're Robinson, what do you do? I'd say he'll kick it again.
That's what he's told his team, and he doesn't believe that Hansen can get off a better one.
Illegal member of the kicking team downfield, number 28, 4th down.
Gene Atkins. So they're going to re-kick it. John Robinson's Rams, who lost last week to the Eagles. The New Orleans Saints have lost 2 in a row. Both teams trying to break losing streaks of 1 and 2 games and take over the lead in the division. Jim Mora's team has lost games by 1, 2, and last week by 3 points. They've been in every one of them.
No disgrace there in their 3 losses. All good teams.
Hansen kicking again lower, sending Hicks back to the 13-yard line. And he slips at the 20. And the net result was about even. Joe Colbrand on the tackle. Next Sunday, CBS Sports presents regional NFL action beginning with the NFL Today, 12:30 Eastern Time. Most of you will see the Chicago Bears take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, both winners today. Others will see Phoenix against Houston, Detroit against Green Bay as well. Then in our late game, the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants, and Atlanta goes against the LA Raiders. Others will see that game. That's NFL regional action next Sunday on CBS Sports. Dave Waymer, the latest player shaken up in a game in which we've had many injuries, Dan, but all but Tony Elliott have come back.
And Waymer was the starting left corner today because Reggie Sutton and Milton Mack were playing with a couple injuries. Mack has a sore ankle, and Sutton is in the game now. He's playing with a sore hip, so the Saints are really hurting at this position.
And of course, Darren Gilbert's the other guy who hasn't come back yet from injury.
Right in the center of the screen here is number 44, Dave Waymer. And he's played a long game today. He's running under kicks and being the starting cornerback. And he comes up hurting.
Reggie Sutton will move into that cornerback position. He's had a contusion of the thigh. You know, looking around at the Saints, they're better than they used to be talent-wise. They're not a greatly talented club, but the injuries to offensive line, running back, secondary, and yet look where they are. They're leading in this big game on the road for first place.
I think you really got to give a lot of credit to their head coach, Jim Mora.
I second that. First down, Rams on the 20. Jim Everett trying to go to Charles White, but give the Saints coverage credit because they shut off all the other receivers.
That was about his fourth alternation, his fourth choice on the play. He wanted the tight end, then he wanted the fullback, then he wanted the deep out on the right side. That's working your pass progression down. The trouble is you got to hit that guy.
Everett has completed only 1 pass to a wide receiver this afternoon, and that was Aaron Cox. 2nd and 10. Number 2 to a wide out. Henry Ellard, he's got the first down. Van Jakes defending and a pickup of 15 yards.
Really important for the Rams to start hitting these wide receivers. They came into the game averaging, the wide receivers that is, 19 yards per catch. Ellard gets open on this one. And Everett, this is one of his stronger throws of the day. Van Jakes had nice close coverage, though.
That's the first catch of the day for Henry Ellard, who went in with 51 receptions to lead the club. First down on the Ram 35. Greg Bell and Robert Del Pino are the backs. Bell blocking, Everett running. And makes the slide a yard short of a first down. Brett Maxey was there, but a good gain on first down.
And you called it right. They brought Brett Maxey on the safety blitz again. Greg Bell stepped up and gave Everett the protection he needed, but Jim saw a lot of green grass ahead of him and made a nice gain.
That's the first rush by the Rams other than Charles White. Second down, call it 2. 43, inside handoff, Buford McGee stopped. Don't believe he has the first down, but we'll see where they spot the ball. Vaughn Johnson crunched him right there. It's awfully close, though, and we may have a measurement. And they're going to bring out the sticks. Could go either way.
Rams have had trouble in all 3 of their losses rushing the ball. They haven't had a running back to gain more than 100 yards. And beginning of the season, that was really their strong point. Greg Bell still the 4th leading rusher in the conference, and they haven't been getting it done lately, though. In fact, Bell has only averaged 36 yards in his last 4 games. But you can't hang it all on the running back. Their entire offense isn't really in sync, especially the coordination between the running backs and the offensive line.
You said it earlier. They were flat from the start. They're short by an inch. Not even is right. Robert Cox comes in now as that extra tight end. By the way, Darren Gilbert is back in. Well, will be back in when the Saints have the ball at right tackle at deep frame. Third down and a smidgen. Greg Bell will have the first down. With 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, Sam Mills on the stop. Bring you up to date on what's going on in a tight division, the NFC West. Saints leading here 14-3. Raiders are beating the 49ers in the fourth quarter at Candlestick Park. Coming in today, Rams and Saints were knotted up at the top with the 49ers a game behind. Winner of this game moves into first place, but it's more important really for the Saints because if they were to lose today, they would lose any chance of a tiebreaker against the Rams, having lost both regular season games. First down at the 46 for LA. Bell keeps the blockers out, and the pass incomplete to Henry Ellard. Everett had his man, and Ellard just couldn't hold on.
Rams receivers have dropped a lot of balls the last couple of games. Let's take a look at the protection here first. There you see Maxey on the safety blitz again. He's picked up by Greg Bell, but this is just a flat drop as Ellard starts to look around for running room after the catch. Problem is he never had the catch.
Aaron Cox dropped 3 against the Saints a couple of weeks ago before he ended up grabbing a big third down play, and Cox dropped a touchdown pass last week. Dave Waymer back in there.
Must be a little contagious, wouldn't you think?
I think again, it's when you're out of sync, those things happen. Second and 10. That pass is caught by Ellard for a first down to the Saints 40. A 14-yard pickup with Toy Cook defending.
Well, Jim Everett, he knows what he does best, and he throws the deep comeback to the outside better than anybody. This is an unbelievable throw as he's bailing out all the way. The ball loses a little bit of its impetus. Ellard came back and made a nice grab.
And the right decision. You've been in that spot to come right back to your key man, your bread and butter man, Ellard, after he drops one.
Well, and Everett, you know, he knows that Henry Ellard's not going to drop 2 in a row. Ellard's come into the game averaging 6 catches a game in the last 6 games. He's their big play receiver.
Rams looking for a big play. They need a score. First and 10 on the Saints 40. Aaron Cox defended by Antonio Gibson. Second down with 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Sometimes as a quarterback, you feel like everybody's against you. You're getting a lot of pressure in the pocket. They're bringing safety blitzes. Your great receivers are dropping balls. And so it all starts to affect on how well you play as a quarterback and how well you deliver the ball. Everett does not look comfortable to me in the pocket. Now he's throwing off balance a little bit, but he's not getting any help from his receivers either.
And he's been getting pressure from the Saints all day. Second down and 10. To Henry Ellard. The flip from Holohan to Ellard, and it's a first down inside the 20-yard line. A 21-yard gain. And a play that you may be familiar with, going back to that big playoff game with the Miami Dolphins you were in.
Oh, and I hated seeing it, but I like seeing this one. They call this the hook and lateral. Here is the pass to Holohan on the hook. Here's the lateral to Ellard on the outside. You really need a great athlete to pull that play off, and that's what Pete Holohan is. He's got to make the grab, find the guy that he's pitching the ball to, and then give him a catchable pitch.
Crowd is into it now for the first time today. 21-yard gain, first down, and on the reverse, Ron Brown. And Brown is hit by Vaughn Johnson and hit hard. Prevented a bigger gain for Brown.
What we're seeing now is the coaching staff trying to get things fired up here. 2 flea flickers in a row here. This is the hook and lateral to Holohan, then to Ellard. But what Ernie Zampese's doing right now, he's saying, okay, guys, you can't run your bread and butter plays. You can't run the ball down the field. You're not having any success throwing it down the field. We're going to have to try some trick plays, get something going.
And they may work. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, the Saints 14, the Rams 3. We now pause for a word from your local station. Second down and 8 for Jim Everett on the Saints 17. Everett under pressure. Pass is caught. Penalty markers down. Damone Johnson goes after it. Let's see if it was an incomplete pass or completion and ball blown dead. Gene Atkins on the hit.
One thing we know for sure is that Gene Atkins will get flagged for pass interference. He came over Johnson's shoulder a little bit too early.
That'll be a first down.
Pass interference, number 28 defense, first down.
Take a look at the end zone. Johnson's going to come from the left side of the screen, and with him will come Gene Atkins. This ball is thrown kind of soft and slow, and Atkins, he mistimed his jump and had to go through Johnson to break it up.
Saints defense trying to stop the Rams here with a first and goal at the 7. Rams trying to come to within 4 points early here in the fourth quarter against the Saints. Everett chased by Kevin. Everett will run, and he'll get in for the touchdown. No. They said he was brought down just shy of it. The ball didn't cross the plane. Ricky Jackson made the stop, and they'll mark it at the 1-yard line.
Saints will drop off into a zone defense here, and Jim Everett has a lot of time to throw, but all of a sudden he gets pressure from Geathers, and all of a sudden he sees that goal line. You won't see Jim doing this very often. If he stretches out right here, he might have had a touchdown, but Ricky Jackson was thinking other things about that touchdown.
Second and goal at the 1. Everett wants quiet. Greg Bell and Buford McGee in the backfield, and now the Rams will call timeout.
Timeout.
Everett doesn't want to squander this opportunity in this kind of a close game.
Well, and he's backed up against that 45-second clock. Sometimes when a quarterback will scramble like that, it takes a while for him to get back to the huddle and get the play from the sidelines. And oftentimes that's the result. The quarterback has to burn that timeout. Good job, though. I have to agree with his use of that timeout now. You don't want to move that ball back with a penalty off of that 1-yard line.
Take a look at the NFC West again. Division records. The Rams and 49ers each with 2-1 records. Saints 1-2. And the 49ers will still play host to both the Saints and the Rams in the month of December.
You would think that's the key, but the 49ers have had trouble all year long winning at home at Candlestick Park.
Second and goal at the 1. 4 men up front for the Saints. Geathers, Warren, Wilkes, and Clark. McGee and Bell in the backfield. Ray Bell does not get in. Brett Maxey and Vaughn Johnson closed it up in a hurry, and it'll be third and goal.
One of the other guys who does a nice job is Jumpy Geathers. He is the man they're running right at on this left side. McGee with the lead block, but there's great penetration there. And Bell meets Johnson trying to go up over the top. But the key is the penetration. Look how far into the backfield Jumpy Geathers was.
Third and goal at the 1.
You got to feel that if the Rams don't make it here, they'll try it on fourth down also.
They split the back slightly now. Embry, the third tight end, in motion. And Bell's not going to get in this time either, as he is thrust back again. Vaughn Johnson plays the key role, and it's fourth down.
Great hit by Vaughn Johnson here. He meets Bell right in the hole. This is just same thing that happened to the Rams last time, 2 weeks ago, at the Superdome. They couldn't get in the end zone then either. Great square up hit, raises Bell's shoulders up. He loses all momentum. Easy play.
And the Rams are going to go for it. There's Steve Sidwell signaling in the defense. The Rams are 3 of 5 successes on 4th down this year. Here it is, 4th and goal at the 1.
A real gutty call by Coach Ernie Zampese in the press box. They get stuffed on 2 blast plays. They're coming with the veer option here. This is Buford McGee. He's going to come down the line and pitch the ball back to Greg Bell. Then to watch Bell at the end of this run. He is head up with Van Jakes. Jakes has got to make this tackle. A little juke and just enough speed to get into the corner of the end zone.
Just made it.
Barely.
Mike Lansford with Pete Holohan holding. Extra point is good. Plenty of time remaining in this one. 12 minutes and 49 seconds. And Greg Bell has scored his 14th touchdown of the season. Story of our game summary. Reuben Mays with a terrific job rushing, but the Rams have not run the ball the way John Robinson would have liked. And the Saints in the second half have seen the ball control go over to the Rams side, and the game is tightened at 14-10. How do you see the game now?
Well, I'm really amazed at the way the Rams have been able to come back. They've showed a lot of ingenuity in their coaching staff. A couple of great plays called by Ernie Zampese. And this one, this is really a gutty call because there's a lot of ball handling involved. And then the great effort by Greg Bell is standing up Jakes and then outrunning him to the corner of the end zone, just barely getting a heel in the end zone.
The Rams win 7 quarters without a touchdown against the Saints. They beat them without the benefit of a touchdown. 4 field goals by Mike Lansford 2 weeks ago. Now they trail the Saints 14-10. Lansford will be kicking off. Mel Gray and Gene Atkins are deep for the Saints. It'll be Atkins a yard in the end zone. And for all his efforts, Atkins is down at the 5. Fred Strickland and James Washington. Saturday, college football continues on CBS with a big doubleheader. Action beginning at 12 noon Eastern. First game, Penn State against Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's 9-0, had this week off. Isn't that nice going into that big golf ball game?
And game 2, a big one. Nebraska and Oklahoma for the Big 8 title. The big game and the Orange Bowl bid at stake. This crowd on its feet now, looking for the Rams to make a big defensive play. First down, Saints on their 6. Reuben Mays will lose a couple. And the Rams are fired up. Alvin Wright and Mike Wiltshire. There's Ernie Zampese upstairs, who made that call for the touchdown on 4th down.
He smokes about six packs of cigarettes a day up there. He's even working on another one. Great football coach and a fine guy. But this crowd is back into it. You know why, Dick? They're fresh. They haven't had anything to do all day. Been sitting on their collective hands.
Second down and 11. Back to the 5. The first down, short by about a yard. Kevin Green on the tackle, but it quiets the crowd somewhat and will bring up a 3rd down and 1.
Really nice pass protection for Hebert that time. This is when the quarterback is probably at his most nervous, is when his feet are in the end zone. He's trying to complete a pass down the field.
Joel Hilgenberg is back in at left guard for Brett Edelman. Darren Gilbert is the right tackle. The Rams have dominated this half, but they still trail. three tight ends for the Saints. Up the middle has that third tight end, Greg Scales, and a first down shy of the 30. Stewart on the stop. Greg Scales, a rookie from Wake Forest, and Stewart is injured for the Rams.
Well, we've seen some good calls by the Ram offensive coaches. Let's give Carl Smith some credit too. This is a play action pass on 3rd and 1 where everybody's expecting the run. Here Scales gets off the line into the dead area of the zone. And that's probably the way that Michael Stewart's feeling right now.
Scales was a 5th-round draft pick out of Wake Forest, and Hebert got out of some big trouble to keep the ball for the Saints. Michael Stewart leaves the field, and he'll be replaced at strong safety by rookie James Washington, number 37, out of UCLA. Keep in mind, Vince Newsom, the regular strong safety, has been out. So the Rams have had to go deep into their secondary for that position. Meanwhile, first down and 10 for the Saints on their 28. 10:46 to go in the 4th quarter. Ruben Mays with Jordan blocking. Mays gets to the 32-yard line. James Washington on the stop, a gain of 4. For an NFL Today update, let's check in now with our pal Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, it's been a huge day for Roy Green. 8 catches for 163 yards. Moments ago, this one, Neil Lomax to Green. He turns on the afterburners and goes 44 yards, 21-7. Cardinals over the Giants. Back to Dick and Dan.
All right, Brent. I'm sure the Redskins are going to enjoy that one if the Cardinals continue to go on. There you see Michael Stewart out for just one play back in at strong safety. 2nd and 6. Saints. Hebert up the middle, and it's batted down. Incomplete. Bringing up 3rd down. Alvin Wright, I believe, got his hand on it.
Bobby Hebert does not have a real high release. Number 99 in the middle of our screen is Alvin Wright. He's going to get his hands up and knock this one down. Great timing there. Dalton Hilliard was the man that Hebert wanted, but I don't think he would have got many yards out of it. It was a short pass over the middle.
Look at the difference. Passing yards. Everett and the Rams have awakened in the second half after Hebert. Hebert dominated in the first. 3rd and 6 on the 32. Hebert's toss off the hands of Martin. Sutton defending, and that'll bring up 4th down. So the Rams defense does its job. And it'll be 4th down, and Hansen will come in and kick. And with the score 14-10 in favor of the Saints, you can feel that the momentum has shifted over to the Rams side.
And you wonder what they talked about at halftime. I bet John Robinson had a few choice words, because this ball club that came out to play in the second half is a completely different club than we saw in the first.
Clifford Hicks is back, and here's Brian Hansen. Gets it away, and it's a beauty. Hicks at the 25. Doesn't get to the 30. And that's where the Rams will start off at about the 28. Tonight on CBS, Dartmouth is being called for interference, and it has nothing to do with Ivy League football. What's that all about? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote, and then it's the CBS Sunday movie, Where the Hell's That Gold?, starring Willie Nelson. That's all coming up tonight on CBS.
Can you say that on television?
I just did.
I thought it's Willie Nelson, that's why.
All right, the Rams first down on their 28. Trailing 14-10. Play action and a good fake, but the pass is thrown incomplete, intended for Eller, down and out of bounds.
Good pressure from linebacker Pat Swilling. He hurried Everett on that throw, and therefore the misconnection.
Interesting how John Robinson talked about getting the running game going. Both teams are relying on the pass now. Robinson's club has averaged 128 yards a game this season. Today they have gained only 50 yards on the ground. Even envisioned carrying the ball 30 times. They haven't even rushed 20 yet.
Well, he's lucky he's got a great pass offense with Coach Ernie Zampese to fall back on. Years past, the Rams would be dead by now.
2nd and 10. Everett flushed from the pocket by Frank Warren. Will run. And is shy of the first down by a yard and a half. Antonio Gibson made sure Everett wasn't going to reach the sticks.
There you see the coaching staff for the Rams. That's Ernie Zampese right in the middle of our screen. Dick Corey is to his right, our left, and one of the other coaches for the Rams. But they really got their work cut out for them today. Whenever you've got a ball club that is out of sync like this, you've got to reach way down deep in that playbook to find some plays that get them going again, and they did that with some of the flea flickers.
3rd down and 2 for the Rams. They're on their 36. Everett tried to get to Holohan. He had slipped and is claiming Gibson might have knocked him down. No flag. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Take a look at Pete Holohan in the slot here. He's number 81. He's going to go down and just run what you call a choice or an option pattern. And he's working very hard against Gibson. Gibson pulls on him a little bit, but his feet give out, and still he almost made the grab.
Gibson played it very well because he knows that on 3rd down, Holohan is a prime target.
And that's why he's guarding him that closely.
After to kick on 4th down, Mel Gray is back. Punters have been exceptional today. Here's another good kick. Gray calls for the fair catch. And the Saints will take over. So the defenses are playing a bigger role as this game moves on. And we want to remind you that we'll move on next Sunday on CBS. It all begins with the NFL today. Most of you will see the Bears against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Others will see Phoenix at Houston or Detroit against Green Bay. Then in our late game, the Philadelphia Eagles, who edged the Steelers today against the Giants, who are in trouble against Phoenix. Some of you will see the Atlanta Falcons against the LA Raiders. That's NFL regional action next Sunday right here on CBS Sports.
It looks like quite a few of our division races are starting to tighten up. The NFC East and this NFC West.
How about the AFC Central too?
And of course there's a powerhouse AFC West.
Someone will win there. 1st down on the 19. Let's see whether the Rams were drawn off, and Dombrowski and Hilgenberg on the left side might have done it.
Yeah, it looked like Dombo.
Ball start, 72 offense. 1st down.
How do you feel about the Jim Dombrowski incident last week with Dexter Manley? He claimed he was spit on by Manley and then committed a 15-yard penalty. Had to be embarrassed about that. And
well, they're cheap shots and then they're cheap shots, but Dexter Manley spitting or sneezing, either way, in the face of a football player, in this case Jim Dombrowski, is really a low-class move, and one that it doesn't surprise me that he did it. He's that type of ball player.
You don't see it much anymore.
I've never heard of such a thing, really.
1st down and 15 following the penalty. On the draw, here's Buford Jordan. Trying to break another tackle, and he gets it out to the 21-yard line, a gain of 7. Larry Kelm makes the stop for the Rams. There's the time remaining in the 4th quarter. The Saints with 2 touchdowns today. Dalton Hilliard and Reuben Mays with short running touchdowns. The Rams with a 23-yard field goal by Mike Lansford, and then Greg Bell went over from a yard on 4th and goal to cut it to 14-10. Right here, 2nd and 8, Saints on the 21. 3 wide receivers to the right, and now Jordan moves. There with a lot of time. Lonzel Hill has it out of bounds. He's short of a 1st down by 3 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
What we're seeing now, Dick, are both teams are settling into what they feel they do best. The Saints have gone back to their short control passing game. The Rams defensively, on the other hand, have given up on their Eagle and their Hawk defense. They're playing their base 34. They feel more comfortable that they're going to have to force the Saints to march it all the way down the field. They feel that they can get some type of turnover, and they're going to stick with their base defense.
Fritz Shermer flashing into defensive signals. By the way, Lonzel Hill, who's playing with a stress fracture of the foot, leads the Saints with 6 catches for 79 yards. 3rd down and 2. You wonder if they're looking at this one, checking to see whether Hill was in bounds when he caught the pass.
Now, we're always in the dark from the referees on this type of situation because they don't give us any type of signal as to what's going on down on the field.
We reset the 30-second clock to 7 seconds.
No word about checking it again, so they reset the clock to 7 seconds. And you pointed out that unless they get to the line of scrimmage and the officials are all standing there, we don't know. And I guess they are looking at it.
Well, let's take a look at it. Here is the pass to Hill on the sideline. There's the grab. Now, are they saying that he's out of bounds with that right foot or not? That's what they're taking a look at in the replay booth.
I think he is. That replay indicates that his right foot was
After further review,
out of bounds.
the play is ruled an incomplete pass.
Well, I'm not so sure. I think his toe might have touched down inside and then slipped outside. But from that view, it's very difficult to call.
Ralph Moorcroft in the replay booth has reversed the decision.
And what that does, it changes the type of play the Saints are going to run now. They got to move the ball back to a 3rd and 8 situation where they had the ball in a very good situation on a 3rd and short. Come in with probably their 4 wides and throw the ball a little bit.
Eric Martin, Brett Perriman, Lonzel Hill, and Mark Pattison are the 4 wide receivers in there on 3rd and 8. Rams show blitz came out of it, and the pass is caught by Lonzel Hill, and he'll have the 1st down. And both feet inbounds for sure this time. A 10-yard pickup to the 31-yard line. Michael Stewart on the stop. So Hill was denied the first time, not here.
Well, 2 weeks ago, the Rams made all the big plays in the 4th quarter to win the game. Now it appears that the Saints are going to do the same thing. This is a big 3rd down conversion, something that the Saints do better than anybody in the league. Came into the game converting on about 49% of those 3rd down plays.
And the Saints with a big 1st down with 7:22 to go. They'll try to exhibit their own brand of ball control with the short passes. They're on the 31. Ruben Mays back to the line of scrimmage. That's all. Doug Reed on the stop.
Really comes down to a test of wills now in the 4th quarter. Anytime the game is on the line, it appears that the team that wants it the most and that can execute flawlessly, they really have to do that in this situation, is going to come out the winner.
It's Carl Smith next to Jim Mora. It was 7-3 at halftime in favor of the Saints. They stretched their lead to 14-3 before the Rams came back and scored a touchdown. But the Rams have had the impetus in the 2nd half to this point. Trying to go to Martin. He slipped. Leroy Irvin was covering. And right now, let's check in again with Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, here are a couple of storylines for you. The Giants staying alive. 8 minutes to go. Otis Anderson in. That's a 7-point game. Bit of a surprise up the coast. The 49ers have been unable to score. It is 9-3. Inside of 5 minutes, Niners down to the 30-yard line. Back to Dick.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. Tough times for Bill Walsh and company these weeks.
Unbelievable. They have so much trouble winning at home.
3rd down and 10 at the 31. Another one of those big 3rd down plays here in the 4th quarter with 6.5 to go. Bears pass nearly intercepted that time by the the rookie Fred Strickland. It was intended for Martin up the middle, but the Rams do the job and stop Hebert on the short pass, and that'll bring up 4th down.
This ball might have been deflected at the line of scrimmage. I know one thing, and it was thrown into a crowd. Hebert has time to throw. There's a little bit of a deflection by Gary Jeter. Strickland had his hands on it. He couldn't make the catch. Strickland has got his hands on a lot of balls this year, but there's Jeter with his right hand just swatting the ball away, causing the incompletion.
Brian Hansen, the kick on 4th down. Clifford Hicks is back. Great kick by Hansen. Will send Hicks back to the 25. And ridden down at the 30. Brett Maxey. 6:15 to go, and an injured player on the field will be back. The injured Saint is Alvin Tolles, who ran into Tim Terrell. Terrell was shaken up for the moment, but he came off the field. Not so lucky as Alvin Tolles. There's Terrell. Here's what happened, Dan.
Well, this is Tolles right here. Here comes Terrell inside, and this is where the X marks the spot. A little bit of a collision here. Terrell takes a shot, and there goes a knee. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry we had to see that.
They're going to carry him off. They brought out the truck.
That's really unfortunate, Dick, but it happens. It's a contact game. Guys are flying around the field right and left, trying to make plays, trying to help their team, and injuries are a part of the National Football League.
As long as they're clean injuries. And that was
definitely
2 players.
Injury, you bet.
Right.
It's just something you hate to see. Anytime when guys are giving it their all, they're out there having fun, but it's a big part of the game. We just wish Alvin all the best, but that doesn't look real good.
We have had a spate of injuries this afternoon to players on both sides, and virtually all of them have come back.
This really puts a damper on the excitement of this ball game. Here we are, 6:15 to go in the game. The Rams have the ball on the 31-yard line. They're down by 4 points. They've got to drive all the way down and get a touchdown. And everything's a little bit quiet and uncertain right now. We'll see which team can regroup right now and get the momentum.
And that's what you said all along, which team wants it the most. And let's go back a couple of weeks to New Orleans when the Rams, with great ball control, chewed up enough time, didn't allow Morton Anderson to try a field goal to win the game. Let's see what they do here with 6:15 to go, starting from their 31. Everett on 1st down. Del Pino with the reception. Gets a couple extra yards out of it. Van Jakes on the stop. There's Tolles being taken into the dressing room.
Really key now for Everett to be patient in the pocket. Not force the ball, not throw the ball up for grabs like he did earlier in this game. Just take what the defense gives you. The Saints will play a lot of zone here. They'll be very passive. They may throw in a safety blitz once in a while, but it's important for Everett to make good decisions as the quarterback.
Gain of 6 that time. 2nd and 4 on the Ram 37. Charles White. He's got the 1st down with good second effort running up to the 43. Antonio Gibson and Ricky Jackson on the tackle.
Really, the second effort of Charles White is really his trademark. He's not going to let that first guy knock him down. He's going to spin and scratch and claw, get every yard he can.
Ernie Zampese upstairs. He has been the man with the passing scheme. And Charles White, the runner for the Rams. 1st down and 10 on the 43. 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Everett is sacked, and the first sack of the day. Antonio Gibson came in from his safety position, and a loss, not a big loss, of only a couple that time.
But a good call, but again, by the Saints defensive staff. They've had a lot of success today. Here's Gibson, number 27, coming on the safety blitz. You see there's no one there to pick him up. This is a broken play by the Rams. They should have had some type of blitz adjustment, side adjustment by a wide receiver to give Everett some place to go with the ball.
Steve Sidwell, defensive coordinator, loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. But they did mix in a little safety blitz that time. Ball back to the 41. Everett gets good protection, and his pass is short to Henry Ellert. He had time. Dave Lamer was covering on the play, and the thoughts going through John Robinson's mind is now Jim Everett's faced with a 3rd and long.
One thing we don't realize or mention very often is that Jim Everett's still a young quarterback. This is only his 3rd year in the league. It's only his 2nd year with this pass system. He's only 25 years old. Sometimes you see him out there, he looks like an old veteran, but he's going to have days like this in his maturity process that things aren't going to go right for him.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 3rd and 12. Down, Aaron Cox. The ball wasn't thrown well, but a flag is down. He was wide open. We'll see what the penalty is all about. It appears to be against the Rams. It is. It'll be declined by the Saints, and it'll be 4th down, and Dale Hatcher will come in.
Pass interference, number 81. Penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down.
Pete Holohan, the tight end, offensive pass interference.
Well, the good news is that they only use 2 minutes off the clock. The bad news is they have to punt it back to New Orleans, and they'll get a chance now with 4 minutes to go to run the clock out.
Mel Gray, he's done well today on a couple of punt returns, fielding this one at the 15. Gray looks awfully strong, brings it out just beyond the 30-yard line. James Washington on the stop. A 44-yard kick, and that time Gray returned it 15 yards. So he has returned kicks of 15, 17, and 19 yards this afternoon.
And that return is huge because that makes the field only 40 yards long for the Saints to get Morton Anderson into field goal position to give the Saints a 7-point lead.
Now, if you're Bobby Hebert, what are you thinking about here? You've gone with the short pass. You have 4:08 to go, and you're on your 30.
Well, you're telling those guys, listen, give me time in the pocket, or if we're going to run the ball, everybody hang on to the ball. Let's just make a couple of first downs, and let's get on that plane and fly home.
Ruben Mays picks up a yard, that's all. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, welcome to Anaheim Stadium. Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts. We have just under 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams fighting for first place. Undisputed possession of the lead in the NFC West. The Saints lead 14-10. 60 minutes will follow the game, except in the Pacific and Mountain time zones.
What we're going to see Bobby Hebert do now is milk that clock down to about 5 seconds before he snaps it. Every second counts now.
He's got 10 seconds on it now. 2nd and 8 on the 32. He waited till 2 seconds were on the clock, and Ruben Mays going wide. Picks up a couple more and is short of a first down by 3 yards. Larry Kelm on the stop. Saints nurturing a 4-point lead, trying to reverse things. 2 weeks ago they played at the Superdome, and the Rams won 12-10 on the strength of 4 field goals by Mike Lansford. And now the Saints want to turn it around. The 49ers have lost. The Raiders beat them at the Candlestick Park 9-3. Right now the standings, the winner of this game will have a 2-game lead over the 49ers and a 1-game lead over their opponent here.
5 games left on the schedule.
Getting close.
Yes, sir.
3rd and 3 on the 37. Inside handoff. Buford McGee does not have the first down. Buford Jordan, sorry, does not have the first down, and the Rams immediately call a timeout with 2:23 to go. Kevin Green on the stop. Now it's going to be 4th down, and right now let's check in with Brent Musburger. More news on the Niners loss, Brent, I'm sure.
Dick, it is 4th down. This is the play, and the Niners come with the end around. Rice and the rookie defensive end from Illinois. Scott Davis off his block leads the way, and the Niners have lost at home again, 9-3. The Raiders stay tied with Denver for first, and Seattle is headed for overtime. Let's go back to Dick.
And right here, this game hangs in the balance with 2:23 remaining in the 4th quarter. It's 4th down and 1, and Brian Hansen will come on as Jim Mora going to put it in the hands of his defensive unit. Clifford Hicks goes back to receive for the Rams. 2:23 to go. And I guess, Dan, it's one of those games in which you say, look, if our defense can't hold the Rams and prevent a touchdown, maybe we don't deserve to win.
That's exactly the feeling now for the Saints. They're going to put it all on their defense to hold the Rams out of that end zone.
In that time. Hicks at the 22 is wrestled down from behind by Vaughn Johnson. He has played one tremendous game for the Saints today, which is nothing unusual, including a big interception which set up a touchdown.
Wonderful tackle by Johnson. He would not let Hicks get outside. Hicks was looking to get to that picket line, but Big Vaughn stuck out that right hand and dragged that little guy down.
How would you like to be the Cleveland Browns and have to play a big game against the Denver Broncos after what happened last 2 years and today?
Do you think the Denver Broncos have the Browns number? My goodness.
Something like that. First down, Rams on the 30 with 2:12 to play. 4 wide receivers for Jim Everett. He's got Ellard, and Ellard is stopped dead cold at the 35 by Van Jakes, and that will bring up the 2-minute warning. So the 2-minute warning is here. Jim Everett goes to the sidelines and will return to Anaheim in a moment. Here's the story with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Saints lead the Rams 14-10. The Rams, however, have only one timeout left. Familiar the last week's game against the Eagles, Dan.
Last week they're down by 6, a very similar situation. The one guy they went to a lot was Damone Johnson, the tight end. Johnson caught 4 balls in the last drive, but then the Eagles got some pressure on Everett. 1 sack, 1 hurry, 1 interception cost them the game. Let's see how they do this time.
They're actually in better position now time-wise and field-wise than they were last week. Second down and 4. Everett. Greg Bell open. First down, and Bell still going, gets into Saints territory inside the 45. Toy Cook on the stop. Rams have only one timeout left, and they've got to use it judiciously.
Bell had a choice there of going for yardage or going out of bounds. Took the yardage, picked up about 10.
They're on the Saints 44. They need a touchdown. This is caught. Ellard. Another first down. Inside the 30, Van Jakes on the tackle. They're getting huge chunks of yards in a hurry. That was a 15-yard pickup.
Going to the big play guy, Henry Ellard.
There's the time remaining. Here's Greg Bell. And Greg Bell is going to lose yardage. So the Rams decide to go a wide sweep play and will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Gain of a loss of about 5, and it was Toy Cook who was right on Greg Bell.
Well, Everett's thinking there was that the play would stop the clock. Well, it did, but it cost him about 3 yards. Tough to run a sweep play in this situation against a team that's going to play zone defense, because Toy Cook is responsible for the short outside there, right where Greg Bell was running the ball.
It'll be second down and 14 for the Rams with 1:06 to go. They're on the Saints 33. Everett trying to go to Holohan, and a flag down. Antonio Gibson. I think the problem for Gibson is that he wasn't looking up at the ball, and he'll be called for pass interference.
He had no idea where the ball was. He's bumping and jostling Holohan down the field there. You see it left side of the screen, number 27. He's watching Holohan all the way, doesn't look back till the very last second. Let's take another look at it from, again, here's Holohan. There's Gibson with the left hand inside. My question, though, was that going to be a catchable ball? Looked like it was going to be short.
It is a first down for the Rams. On the 15. On the 16 of the Saints. 1 minute to go. Everett throws it away, and another flag is thrown. Everett had nowhere to go and just threw it out of the end zone, but a penalty marker.
This involves Gibson and Holohan again. They were wrestling down the field. Gibson saying that Holohan was pushing off on him.
Tom Dooley, the referee.
They caught Holohan earlier in the game, and they got him again.
Seattle beats Houston 27-24.
Offensive pass interference, number 81, second down.
But the one that hurt the most was the previous one.
Here's Holohan, and here's Gibson just right behind the linebacker there. Holohan will go down the field, and he'll push off on Gibson. Makes the contact there. Boy, that's a ticky-tack call. My goodness. That's what happens when you're a receiver in a clutch situation. Not only are the defensive backs looking at you, the referees are.
First down and 20 at the 26. Everett going deep, wide open, and the pass is intercepted by Gene Atkins. Gene Atkins with a big interception to snuff out the Rams' threat. So here's Jim Everett, who in the first 9 games of the year threw only 5 interceptions. In the last 2 games, he has thrown 6 interceptions, and the Saints maintain their lead.
This is Gene Atkins right here. He's responsible for the deep corner of the field here. Everett is not patient enough. He's trying to make the big play, but this is just a case of a quarterback trying to do too much, not having the experience to take what the defense give you.
Willie Anderson, the intended receiver.
The Saints, they bend, but they don't break. Today they've had an outstanding game under a lot of adverse situations when you consider some of the injuries. They're playing on the road, but I gotta believe they just wanted it a little bit more than the Rams did today.
The Saints are celebrating, and they will just use up the rest of the clock. The look on the face of Jim Everett says it all. That's the story, as Everett in the last 2 games has thrown more interceptions than he did in the first 9. And Dan, when you consider the fact that Bobby Hebert threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter, settled himself, and once again I've got to go back, as you have, to talk about the steadiness, the consistency of Jim Mora, head coach of the Saints, who is an even keel guy, win or lose, and that's why the Saints are going to be in undisputed possession of first place in the NFC West.
Jim Mora surrounds himself with a coaching staff very similar to his personality. Carl Smith is a very low-key offensive coordinator. Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator, is the same type of guy. They just keep their guys thinking about winning games. They don't hype them up a lot. They don't get overly concerned if they lose a ball game. And they are showing a lot of class today.
So give the Saints the victory, and the NFC West standings a little bit less of a logjam with 5 games remaining. New Orleans a game ahead of the Rams, and the 49ers, who were upset by the Raiders today, 2 games out. As the Saints, who turned it over 3 times in the first half, and the Rams were only able to get 3 points off of those turnovers, played flawless ball in the second half, despite the fact that the Rams really had the impetus. And 35 seconds remain, and you know, it's going to be interesting down the stretch and looking at the last 5 games of the season for the contenders, and the Saints have a lot of tough games still to play before it's all over.
Well, they really do. You look at it, they got Denver and the Giants at Minnesota, then at San Francisco before they finish off their season at home against Atlanta.
So Mora and Robinson shake hands, smile on the face of Jim Mora. Despite all the injuries, the New Orleans Saints have held on and defeat the LA Rams in a big win today, 14-10. They're the leaders in the NFC West. So for Dan Fouts, now there's Mora now. I'm talking to Fritz Shermer down there,
giving his defensive coordinator Steve Sidwell a real big pat on the back. The Saints look good
today, the Saints.
Well, they came into the game thinking that they had to do something different philosophically as far as their team was concerned. They're basically a conservative zone defense that bends and bends and bends. But today they really made some key plays by throwing Everett off his rhythm with safety blitzes. They rattled him in the pocket. They rattled him up front, real close up the middle of the pocket. Really got him unsettled in the throwing the ball, and the results were the game-ending interception.
And Bobby Hebert did the same thing he's been doing all season long. And there's Brett Perriman, who caught a big ball today with Carl Smith and the defensive secondary, and that is the short passing, the quick tosses to avoid the rush, as Hebert was not sacked at all by the team that came into the game with the most quarterback sacks. So it was a masterful victory indeed for Hebert and the New Orleans Saints.
Well, you really got to wonder about what happened to the sacks for the Los Angeles Rams. They're just not getting any anymore.
We'll be back to Anaheim Stadium in just a moment.
The new Remington Electro blade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electro blades vibrating twin blades glide so easily you'll get the closest, smoothest blade shave you've ever imagined or your money back.
How fast does Dristan nasal spray start to work?
Faster than Dolly can pick up a $5 tip.
Dristan works fast to relieve nasal congestion, even sinus pressure. For relief,
faster than a frog on a hot rock.
Try Dristan nasal spray. It's faster than...
United Airlines, from the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
The interception by Gene Atkins that snuffed out the last hope by the Rams as the Saints have ended their two-game losing streak. And so for Dan Fouts, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Anaheim Stadium. The Saints win it. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.